There we go. Lighting is not great again, but that's okay. Probably need these. Okay. Oh, I peaked. Look at that. Let's turn me down. How about that? Is that better? That's better. That's better. That was a little loud. Cool. We've got, what, 12 minutes until the draft.
Maybe we can start recording, actually, should we start recording now? Just, do we have it?
For the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give it, I want to run through, we have 12 minutes till the draft. I got first. Brandon got last. Somehow. We didn't rig that. We did not fix that.
For the podcast?
No.
We should do that. Just so if you talk about like what the points are and like crap.
I was going to do that with 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
We can start recording. There we go. Okay. Oh, we got 2 people in. Okay. We're
it's probably you and me.
It is probably actually that you are right. Damn it. That's embarrassing.
No, that's somebody else.
Okay. Hello, people. Okay. So on the Discord and everything, we have said that we are doing this. Just getting our ducks in a row here before this draft starts. Let's see what. Let's change the name of this Twitch stream here. Head-to-head points mock draft. Not a lot of people not showing up right now yet to the draft. That's okay.
We got time.
We've got time. It probably doesn't count.
Although at least one of them joined. I think 2 of them joined when we had.
Oh yeah, 4 people now.
When we had the yesterday set, so this will be interesting.
True. Okay, so let's run through. So first off, welcome to the second Fantasy Hockey podcast.
Yep.
I can't even say our name. Awful. Welcome to the second Fantasy Hockey Podcast mock draft. This time we're doing it different. So last time we did a categories one, and it was not positional. It was strictly forward and defense. This time what we're going to be doing is we're doing a head-to-head points draft, which is a little bit different. And apologies for the people who are watching us here. The lighting today is not great, but we will get that fixed. We're doing a points one, and we were going to do ESPN standard, but we took a look at them, and they're awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're straight up just awful points.
Unusable.
We don't like the structure, so we created our own structure. Mostly talking about how we like to set up our leagues and why. So let's go over this by actually taking a look at the draft kit. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can go and find this either on Twitch or on YouTube. If you check out our site, fantasyhockeypodcast.com, you'll be able to find where we left this video, so you can watch this and see how the draft kit works. Let's go over the draft kit using that to go over the league settings. So a goal is worth 3 points, an assist is worth 2 points, and you've got a shot on goal worth half a point, hits worth half a point, and blocks worth half a point. So it evens out forwards and defense pretty nicely. Obviously, defenders get more hits and blocks. Forwards will get more points, so the goals and the assists, and of course the shots on goal. And the shots on goal kind of balance that out. And then for goalies, you're looking at 5 points for a win, -1.5 for a goal against, and 0.25 for a save. Now, what we messed up on what we wanted to add was 1 point for a power play point, which just gives people a little bit of an extra bonus if they're producing on the power play. I messed up when I was creating the league and did not add power play points.
Welcome to my life.
And I cannot edit it once the draft is ready to go. So unfortunately, we are not drafting with that extra power play point. But pretend we wanted to. If we were creating this league again, we would have added that.
But we'll be drafting as if it's not there, because it's not.
Yeah, so we'll be drafting as if the power play points don't matter, which
usually
sucks, but you usually would want to add that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how much difference it'll make. I mean, there's a few guys that are going to rise. Guys that, like Tyler Sagan, I think is going to jump over, and like Brad Marchand is going to drop a bit because he's. But it's not, it shouldn't make too much difference.
So if we go back here to the draft, we've got 8 minutes to the draft right now. So again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you want to get straight to the draft, know that right now, as of this moment, there are 8 minutes until the draft, so you can fast forward. But let's go through this draft kit a little bit really quickly.
There's probably like 10 minutes until my first pick, so you can really just skip to that.
Yeah, Brandon, if you only care about Brandon's picks, you can scroll all the way to 10 minutes ahead. So for the people watching, though, let's go through this draft kit really quick. So you're first brought to this great welcome screen. Not much happening there. And then beautiful stuff. We'll give directions as well. So I'll put a directions thing here. We're also going to create a YouTube explanation. I'm going to create a little like 3-minute video or something like that on YouTube that explains how to use this sheet as well for people who don't want to rely on just the directions in written form. But let's go to the draft board. So this is the first thing that's really cool. So you'll be able to customize this draft board to up to 16 plus 16 people. There's directions up in the top right corner on what to do if you have less or more people. But the cool thing is there's a few features on this that are sweet. One, it allows you to follow along with the draft and have a draft board. So whether you're doing it live with friends, you can use this, or if you're doing your own research, it's just nice because of a few features that I'll explain. The other thing is that all the names are validated. So what that means is that you can't put in a name that doesn't exist on my rankings. So in the rankings, let's say I pick Nikita Kucherov first, right? So if I pick Nikita Kucherov first here, it recognizes in a drop-down first off that Nikita Kucherov is a player that you can pick. And then if you go over, you've obviously inputted your league settings. That's important because it'll customize to you. And there's 3 different rankings that you can look at. There's all positions, there's skater rankings, and goalie rankings. So in all positions, it ranks it. It gives you a few different rankings. So from all positions, you can look at Dauber, you can look at left wing lock, and you can look at Dauber and left wing lock average. So this is all positions. Now this is still in beta. So right now, people that are patrons get to look at it first. There's still some bugs, like for example, if you look right now on the one that I'm using, left wing lock clearly is a little bit broken on the all positions rankings by site list, which is okay, that's fine, but I'm going to use the Dauber and left wing lock average. Now, if you were usually drafting with this, what I would recommend, the way to properly use this once Yahoo goes live, is I would actually sort by ADP. And you can sort by ADP and follow along with the draft and see, okay, who's actually kind of going off the board here. And you can follow along with the draft and try to find value at specific ADPs. So if let's say you're at an ADP of 70, you'll kind of be able to follow along with who's there at 70. You'll also be able to filter out by teams so you can see who's been drafted. So say you want to filter out just people that are drafted, you just filter out the team names and it'll show only undrafted players. So you can really, really follow along with the draft. So it's truly, a drafting kit. And eventually what will happen here, this is apparently somewhat broken. Let me see if I can fix this really quickly. I guess it didn't get built in, unfortunately. But what will end up happening, this sucks, but I'm showing you a little beta. This is exactly why we have betas for it. But you can kind of take a look here. What kind of happens is, watch if I do 2, this might actually fix it. I'm fixing this on the fly here, which is not ideal. Apparently did not fix it, in case anyone is wondering.
Super broken.
Super broken. So, great. Let's go to, I would like this to work. I'll be able to show you. There we go. Okay. So, as you can see, now that I fixed it, it'll mark off any player that is drafted. So, in case you don't want to filter out by people that have been drafted, here you'll be able to see players kind of marked out because of they're drafted. And then over here on the right, there's a team compositions thing on the all positions and skater rankings, where what it'll do is it'll show you what positions you have filled or where you have a position filled. Right now it's using their NHL position. So for example, Nikita Kucherov is a right, Alex Ovechkin is only a right, and so forth. Eventually it'll have the Yahoo positions. So it'll say Yahoo eligible. I'm going to try to get ESPN positions in there, but it's tough because they don't make them very easily accessible. And the last thing here, so this is all positions. You have skater with the same thing, Dauber, left wing lock, RotoWire, the average between all 3 eventually. And then we added our points and power play point consistency score as well as a grade. So for example, an A or an A+ or something like that. So yeah, it should be pretty useful. There's also goalies, and both of these have the kind of the breakdown there on positions. And this will be all polished up by the time Yahoo goes live for everyone. But patrons, of course, get kind of a preview at the moment. But the draft board is really sweet. That's actually what I'm going to use to draft today. Hopefully, maybe in the future I'll try to work this into the stream so that you can actually see the draft board kind of getting filled in. But there you go. There's a quick little preview on what's to come. And also, for those of you who are here, you know also that we're getting scarves and beanies. I'm not showing you a preview of the beanies, but here are the scarves that we're going to be having. There you go. So one side is going to say, "You gotta move." So that's an ode to Dustin Byfuglien in that moment that he yelled at Line. So one side of the scarf will have "You gotta move." The other side is going to have Fantasy Hockey Podcast with our new logo. Those are the colors. They'll have tassels. They'll be up on the site. They're going to cost maybe like $7, something like that. Pretty cheap. We might actually be able to get them cheaper. We'll figure that out, plus shipping, of course. And again, the new feature is that patrons will never pay a markup on any of our swag. You will only pay what it costs us to make, plus shipping. So there you go. That is the scarves. We're pretty excited to see them. I think they came out pretty nice with the design.
Yeah, so I'll feel good when they get them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to this draft. 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes here for the draft. I'll be using the draft kit on the side.
Which is a little worrying.
Still missing 3 people, which is okay. Sometimes I like drafting actually with auto picks and mock, because usually in a real draft you'll also have some auto picks, so it just gets you kind of prepared. So again, I'll be drafting on the side here using the kind of all positions rankings that we were talking about that I built out. Also, I will be using the draft kit that we said we'd build. And we'll also talk through the position strategy, because I know we've got a lot of questions on, like, do you fade centers? Do you fade left wing, right wing? Or when do you start taking those? How much do you care about position scarcity when you're doing these drafts? And that matters. And we don't really talk about that often on the podcast, because it's hard to say outside of your specific, in that moment, what do you do? So this is a perfect time to actually discuss what to do. And I think that since I'm the first overall pick in this draft, so I can talk through a little bit of what I'm going to look at here before the draft starts. We're 1:30 out. Now, reminder, the bench situation is 2 centers, 2 left wing, 2 right wing, 4 defensemen, 2 goalies, and 4 bench. No utility spot. Scoring is 3 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist, 0.5 points for a shot on goal, block, and hit, 5 points for a win for a goalie, negative 1.5 for a goal against, and then 0.25 points per a save.
One thing to note to everybody that's drafting on here, ESPN is not projected blocks, so they're not going to be involved in fantasy points.
Correct.
So just bear that in mind.
Correct. Oh, that's my dog. Hello, dog. Yeah, he might get a little rowdy at times here, so if he does bark, I may have to go after him. Okay, so we've got 45 seconds on the clock. I'm going to be the first one up. Man, there's quite a few options here. Now, right now I have this ranked by ADP, of course. You see that Nikita Kucherov is 1.3, Connor McDavid is 2.4, Pasternak at 5 is fine. Braden Point at 7.6 ADP is surprising to me. I have a feeling that has something to do, I think, probably with how they're projecting him.
Yep.
They're probably over-projecting him, which results in...
Why does Patrick Kane have center eligibility?
What?
Yeah, why not, I guess.
Patrick Kane is a right-wing center. Hello, people. Do not use ESPN for your drafts this year unless you absolutely have to. Avoid it like the plague, in my opinion. Okay, we've almost got everyone in the draft. And things change here when you go to fantasy points. So there, I did it by fantasy points right now. Now, normally I would not do this with this draft. We are on. It is live. I'm on the clock. I normally would not go this route, but I feel like I absolutely have to.
Yep.
Just because Alex Ovechkin is left wing, right wing. I don't really... Normally, I wouldn't like...
He's also just really good in this format.
Yeah, I mean, a beast in this format, especially if we're to count power play points. I usually wouldn't, but he's left wing, right wing. I kind of have to. I don't like relying on goals this much in points, especially with my first overall pick. But I feel like it's just... It's not even close. Ovi is a monster in this format, and left wing, right wing makes that even doubly important. So I'm going to go Alex Ovechkin first overall here. I don't even think that's a controversial or difficult pick to make.
Now, considering how this is still a peripheral-based league, so a lot of...
and Nikita Kucherov goes second overall immediately.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
That makes sense, as he's got that right wing eligibility.
Again, we'll probably see. We'll probably end up seeing kind of wingers go first.
It seems very weird that so many of these, like, why does Pasternak have right wing, left wing?
It makes no sense. When does he ever play the other wing? It doesn't make sense.
Well, okay. So we got third pick on the clock. This might be
Weens.
auto. Weens.
Yeah, Weens. He has a picture of a hot dog, so
yep.
It's Weens, not Wines. I think he's autoing. So we're at 24 seconds here. I think I have an idea of he'll probably end up autoing Nathan McKinnon. Not a bad auto pick.
I think he's gonna get McDavid.
You were right.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know if they go by rank. I don't know if they go by ESPN rank for auto or if they're going by fantasy point ranks.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, this is a good actually learning tool. Let's see how ESPN is going to auto draft here. And it is Nathan McKinnon. So it seems like it's going by fantasy points.
Yeah.
Which means someone here is going to...
Or rank, because they did rank... I don't know how the rank works, but it looks like that is just by fantasy points. So
I do like McKinnon there, though. I think he's...
It's not quite by fantasy points. They're doing something else to it.
And then Connor McDavid goes 4th overall. Makes sense. So we have 2 centers and 2 wingers go early on.
Yep.
Makes sense. And I think that the top 4 so far have been exactly who I expected to go top 4 in this format. Now it kind of gets a little bit more difficult because now you're starting to get into positions. I'd say Pasternak, Seguin, and some of those guys are pretty similar. So we see Pasternak go 5th overall.
Yep,
Again,
makes sense
not surprising.
Our next one, the 6th overall, might be another auto. Hopefully these guys come back at some point, but in the meantime, it looks like he's going to wind up with Braden Point, which is a bummer, honestly.
I would not want to end up with Braden Point here.
No, it's way too early. And, I mean, above Stamkos and stuff, it's just strange. And Stamkos doesn't have... Stamkos is only center. This is so weird.
Oh, boy. ESPN is just weird. Why doesn't Brent Burns have a wing eligibility then? Just for fun.
Bufflin should too.
Especially, apparently, use ESPN for forward defense. It's fine for that. But don't use it for positional because they are off. Okay, so now we've got 16 seconds on the clock for Vonnie.
Yep. So it looks like he's going to have a breaking point. There's not a whole lot else to say about that.
Yeah, but, I think I would not do that. Do not take Braden Point that high. Like, Braden Point should not be going above Stamkos, in my opinion.
No, he shouldn't.
There's no reason.
Pretty much.
And Braden Point gets autoed.
Point. That's kind of what you get.
Oh, that sucks. I feel like a lot of people are going to get autoed Braden Point this year.
Well, at least in
ESPN, at least, with the way the rankings are, I bet Braden Point is going to get autoed, which sucks. Which also means that you should be very wary of where Braden Point goes in general. It means that if let's say on Yahoo, for example, he's projected higher, then in that situation, you're looking at Braden Point also's ADP too high, which means he's going to go too early. Okay, Brent Burns goes off, and Andrei Vasilevskiy at 8. Not entirely surprising.
No.
That's not a bad pick. I would say that's fine. I
like both picks.
I like both picks.
Right. Burns obviously gives a lot of utility at defense this early on, and then Vasilevskiy being the top goalie. This is fairly friendly to goalies. It seemed like they're probably going to... Vasilevskiy could wind up top 10, so...
Yeah, I think when you look at it, I have him ranked... I think the Dauber and left wing lock average have him ranked around 16th, so that's totally fair for Vasilevskiy. Vasilevskiy and Brent Burns actually are right there. They're both ranked 15 and 16. So there may be a little bit of stretches, but you're, again, getting positions. That's what you're really banking on here, is the fact that you're getting a guy who's defense and you're getting a goalie early and hoping to make up the difference. And Tyler Seguin goes next. He has only center eligibility here, so that's something to remember. That's Team Methnick. We'll start giving out team names here as we go along. So Seguin, we're seeing centers go, which is interesting.
Well, Seguin's not... Oh, and then Marchand went.
And then Marchand goes right after at left wing only. So we got to remember to give out the positions.
Seguin's good, though, because of the shot production.
Yes.
But, yeah, centers are going to be fairly deep, I assume.
Yep.
You only need 2 of them, so... And with a lot of weird people getting center eligibilities, it's just confusing, to say the least.
So who's up next? So Boys Like It is up right now.
Yep.
And then Brandon is on the board.
And then
so
I
don't know. And Steven Stamkos goes now, which is surprising to me. I'm actually surprised by some of the people who have gotten kind of faded so far in this compared to our last draft.
Yeah, Stamkos only has center eligibility, which sucks. It's annoying that he doesn't get his wing eligibility because he is a winner.
So did you make a cue for this?
Nah.
Okay. Brandon did not make a cue, so he's going off the cuff. I love it. That's the Brandon way more than anything. Okay, so where are you? What are you thinking here? You have back-to-back picks.
I do have back-to-back picks. I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm trying to wrap my head around what the scoring actually means, and if I take a guy like...
Brandon doesn't believe in draft kits.
I don't believe in anything.
He especially doesn't like using my draft kits or my rankings. He feels it goes against his character.
So, with this format, I think I might take Patrick Kane here. He's got right wing and center eligibility. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I'm running out of time.
I like the Patrick Kane pick.
Yeah, the weird thing, I don't know what the deal with the center eligibility is, but okay. It's telling me that my next, my auto pick would be Mikko Rantanen, which is interesting.
Not an awful pick.
Not an awful pick. But I think I'm going to go Blake Wheeler.
Blake Wheeler?
Yeah.
It feels like a reach to me.
I like it.
It feels like a reach to me, given who's still on the board there.
I want to get my wings in.
Okay.
I think I'm good at center. I think there's a lot of good centers around. But did these guys get automatically marked auto? That's interesting.
Interesting.
So it looks like the two teams that autoed have now been marked
automatically auto. So this will go. So they'll go a little bit quicker. We won't have to wait for them as long. So now Boys Like It is back on the clock. He took Steven Stamkos, and his full name is the Computer Boys Like It. I should get that correct. He took Steven Stamkos, so he's probably looking at a wing here. That's the most likely scenarios that he's looking at a wing, most likely.
Probably.
I would imagine.
Maybe.
Unless you want
looking for a goalie or something.
Unless you want to get both centers. Goalie is also not a bad option here. Vasilevsky is
I think
gone.
goalies may go earlier in this.
I'm curious.
I don't know.
Who goes? Evander Kane!
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to be
so
fairly. I assume because the things that he does are fairly easy to project, that he's going to land pretty close to where his projections actually are. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know.
Actually interesting. I don't know if he's using my sheet or not, but if he is, Evander Kane is actually ranked 22nd overall in the league. And I love the Tavares pick. That's who I thought would go. I'm surprised that Tavares fell this far. I would have taken Tavares over Stamkos, for example. That's somebody that I was eyeing when he'd go. Evander Kane, to me, surprising, but yes, he is ranked 22nd on my sheet. So that's a good value. That's a great pick. I don't think if I hadn't looked at my sheet, I would not have thought Evander Kane is that high. Granted, he has stat coverage and he's a wing, but still surprising to me. Okay, and now next up is Mefnik. Let's see where he goes. So Team Mefnik has Tyler Seguin, so he has a center, so most likely also looking for a winger here, I would imagine.
Yep.
And he has a lot of options. I hope that there's one that shows up to me specifically. Leon Draisaitl goes. I like that. That's a smart.
Yep.
That's a smart.
Got the dual eligibility, so
the dual eligibility is huge. And he already has a center in Tyler Seguin, so getting that. And now Frederik Andersen goes, so perhaps we're going to start to see a little bit of a goalie run.
Like I said, I do think goalies are going to go earlier.
Yep. My cat is trying to make picks for me here. I don't exactly know what he's doing, but I'm afraid he's going to knock over my water. So I'm moving some stuff around here.
I feel like it's going to be so many players are going to go before my next pick, and I am terrified about what that's going to look like.
It's so weird that we got first and last. I haven't drafted last in a long time. Now Sebastian Aho goes, followed by Mikko Rantanen.
Okay. Mikko Rantanen was an auto pick.
Mikko Rantanen was an auto pick, and quite frankly, a great auto pick. So now Team Auto Pick has actually gotten Braden Point and Mikko Rantanen.
Well, the thing is,
awful.
The problem
is Sidney Crosby goes right after Mikko Rantanen.
A lot of Rantanen's value comes with power play points, which are not factored in.
Yes.
So that kind of sucks, actually. Same with Point.
It changes a lot of things. I mean, that makes the team a little bit worse there. Now, I do like this team that's building right here with Z-Hawk so far. David Pastrnak and Sidney Crosby. Two very good players at center and wing. Also, I think important to point out here, so Team Voorhees, has Vasilevsky and Anderson. I didn't notice that.
Oh,
went goalie back-to-back, so securing their top two goaltenders really early.
I hate that.
I hate it, but the way that... Gabriel
especially...
Landeskog goes, and then Matthew Tkachuk here.
Oh, wow. Tkachuk is... Tkachuk's
I think Tkachuk was an auto. Important to note.
Landeskog.
I love the Landeskog pick.
I don't know. Even that's a little risky up here. There's a lot. I know people are fading centers right now, which makes sense because they're kind of deep. But
yep.
Maybe a little too much.
Interesting. So I'm eyeing a few options here coming up soon.
I'm never going to be able to see any of the players I want for my next pick. So.
No. To be fair though, unless I get sniped here, there is a specific guy I was eyeing. Alexander Barkov goes there. Like that pick a lot. But the guy I wanted gets to me, and I'll show you why. Let's go over to the draft kit really quick here that I have. Okay, so let's go over to all positions. So, to me right now, the 5th highest ranked player, if you average out Dauber and left wing lock, is Jack Eichel by stats. So I'm going to go with the best center on the board. The other option is Austin Matthews. Now, if we were counting power play points, I'd go Austin Matthews. But we are not in this situation, which sucks, unfortunately. But I'm going to go Jack Eichel.
Yep.
Which I think would actually be my auto pick. But I think for a center, I need a center.
I was going to take him as my next pick, but I knew he was never going to get to me.
I love Jack Eichel.
I didn't think about that too much.
Okay. And now I need to think about what do I want to do here. Do I want to go goaltender or do I want to go... Honestly, I'm thinking about maybe going Austin Matthews here and just shoring up my centers. I could go wing as well. There's a specific wing I like, but it feels like a reach. He'll never make it to me, though. That's the issue with being first overall is that you
More or
do
less.
have to think about the fact that like no one is going to get to me here
Yeah.
after, and so I have to think about what do I want to shore up, and this is where you start to think about wing versus center eligibility, right? Is you do want to shore up that center eligibility or that wing eligibility. And for that reason, I'm going to make a little bit of a reach here. Again, no power play points. I'm going to go Timo Meyer,
You're
a multi-cat
a
monster.
crazy person.
Now I'm going to follow my draft kit here. Timo Meyer is highly ranked, and I don't feel that there's that much risk, and he is a right wing, left wing eligible guy. So I love getting Timo Meyer there, and he's not going to make it to me. It's impossible. Jonathan Huberdeau goes right after, which is who I was debating
Gaudreau Auto, I believe. Yeah, Gaudreau
I believe
Auto.
Gaudreau Auto, and
So you're
he's
seeing a lot of these-
low. Gaudreau is low because of peripherals.
You're seeing a lot of these power play type guys getting autoed because they're not good in our form.
They're not as valued, right? Like that.
A little less.
And that's really why power play points. We would have liked to add power play points. It makes
There
a
goes
guy like
Jake
Johnny
Gensel.
Gaudreau.
That's what I would
Gensel
have liked
makes
more
sense.
than Timo Meyer, actually.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was hoping to get him too, but
No one's gonna make it to you. There's nobody making it to you.
I'm gonna be by myself down here in Lonely Island. I still have a couple guys I like though, so I'm not sweating it too much. Taylor Hall has center eligibility.
Oh my god! If I would have seen that, I would have taken Taylor Hall. Damn it!
Well, now you've spoiled it for everybody else.
Well, now I've screwed it. You've spoiled it for everybody else.
Yeah, but that's why?
your fault.
Why
And
did
then
this
Taylor
thing
Hall
stay
goes,
down?
of course.
I think that
I
to be
blame
fair,
you.
I think that may have been
I
before he
blame
even
you.
heard, so this is a good.
Completely blame you.
How can you not take him?
Oh man, Taylor Hall goes, and then Dylan Larkin goes right after. I love the Larkin pick. I thought about it, but because I had taken Jack Eichel, if Jack Eichel wouldn't have gotten to me, my options would have been Austin Matthews and then Dylan Larkin.
Yep.
I'm shocked Austin Matthews has fallen this far.
Yeah, he's
To the third round.
that's pretty crazy.
That's. I
Middle
mean,
of third
Sebastian Ako's gone.
The thing is, you can't.
People are fading Austin Matthews hard this year. I've
The problem
noticed
is
that
he's-
so far,
he's
and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, they are fading him a lot.
I don't
He's
know
also
why.
he's not showing up super high on the rankings, so he's kind of
Yes.
like he's off the board. He's like below the fold, which
It's
is making
also-
it difficult to find.
I'll
him.
also put this up occasionally here so you can take a look at how the insert league name on the draft kit. Lovely. So you can take a look at how
goes
the
Claude
teams
Giroux,
are kind of
Who shows
building out.
left wing center. I think he has right wing eligibility too. I don't know.
And
if
that
he
person
on-
has Sebastian Ako and Brent Burns. So
Okay.
not a bad pick. I
There
like
goes
that
Austin
as Giroux.
Matthews.
There goes Austin Matthews now. And that's to the team that has Andre Vasilevsky and Frederick Anderson. So no wings. Frederick Anderson, Andre Vasilevsky, and Austin Matthews. I think that's the team to watch on how they build out the rest of their roster going forward.
Yep. Oh boy.
Okay, this next team has Tyler Seguin and Leon Draisaitl. Pretty set, given that Leon Draisaitl has both center and wing eligibility, and then Tyler Seguin. They go Sergei Bobrovsky. Love that
Okay.
pick. I was thinking of going Bobrovsky instead of Timo Meyer, but
There
I
goes
reached
Mitch
for Timo
Marner.
Meyer, and Mitch
Center
Marner
right wing
goes now.
eligibility.
Okay, better than the 11th overall we saw last time.
Yep. Boy, it is getting dark already.
Yeah,
Just like
good luck with that.
trying to find some
Ooh,
value this deep,
Slipped.
but it's weird that it feels deep already. Honestly.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Positions do that to you, though.
yeah, you do need some of these some peripherals to show up too. If you're just strictly a point guy,
And now-
it's pretty rough.
Tarasenko goes. I like that this late.
All right, so there's somebody I think has been falling too far, and it's probably because blocks are not projected. And that player is
Yeah.
Erik Karlsson.
Yep, that's...
I'm gonna hang on him for a minute and try to figure out my next pick, but it's
I
going
like
to
that.
be Erik
That's
Karlsson.
smart. You do got to do that when you're on the turn. Take advantage
Um,
of all the time you've got.
Yeah.
I love Erik Karlsson there.
So, and my next one, I feel is probably a bit of a stretch, but if I don't take him now, I'm not going to get him. It's one of those guys. Oh no, it's probably too early. Am I going to do this to myself? I think I am going to do
Probably.
this to myself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take Erik Karlsson. Boom, there it goes. And then I'm going to take a player I thought I'd never draft,
Oh,
Connor Hellebuck.
there it is! Finally!
But the reason being,
If this is a
it's
points,
a volume
it's different.
starts thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
I
good
love that,
volume. He's not going to come back to me. I want to get my first goalie off the board. Yeah,
Oh, here we go. Now I think is going to be the goalie run. I think you've done it.
I may have done it.
I think you've done it. That's it. I don't think it's going to get to me, and I'm going to have to pick Bennington. Ah, damn. We're both going to have to pick the goalies we said we'd never take. God, being first and last is so weird.
What is my stupid team?
Oh,
right now?
Carey Price. Yep. Okay, Carey Price goes. Here we go. Here comes the goalie run.
So man, I don't get another pick for like
You
a
are.
million picks.
That was a great getting defense there, and then John Carlson goes. So yeah, I think what's going to happen here is we're going to see a defense and goalie run go here. Which honestly, I'm not even gonna...
I love the Carlson. I really feel like if blocks were projected, I would not have gotten Carlson.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that I'm not even gonna hide it here. I'm looking to go defense goaltender on my next turn. I think I have to.
I
have
go back
center
to
and wing set up.
To be nice.
I've center 2 wings. The nice thing for me too is I've actually got 2 wings that are center left wing or right wing left wing eligible.
Victor Hedman
goes. Great pick. Strangely enough, if you go to on my ranking sheet at least, Rasmus Ristolainen is 28th overall. I'm guessing that has to do with the blocks and peripherals and everything.
And
I think that
points don't matter anymore.
I think that both left wing lock and Dauber though are over projecting him on points.
Yeah,
because he's not going to get power play. Okay,
there goes Gibson.
Brendan Gallagher goes
auto pick there.
Yep. So Gallagher gets autoed, I think, as well. No, he doesn't. Yep. And then Gibson and Radulov go. Okay, I like the Gibson.
That was some backhanded fade there. I think Gallagher was autoed.
I don't know if I like Gallagher that high.
I don't know.
I don't know.
His peripherals are great. So
I mean, his peripherals are great, but a little backhand, I guess.
I'm really having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out, wrap my head around the...
So that Gallagher team, again, it's interesting. I always like, I think when we do these, and then Patrice Bergeron goes, love that pick. I think he fell very far. I love finding teams. Like last time we had peripheral free pasta on the last mock draft. I always like finding teams that have very interesting compositions that are different to anything we'd recommend or whatever. And sometimes it ends out good for them, depending on how the draft plays out. But that team has Vasilevsky, Anderson, Austin Matthews, and Brendan Gallagher.
Ben Bishop goes, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury, followed by Ben Bishop. Okay? I am in a heap of trouble here.
Yeah, I'm really having trouble wrapping my head around how much points actually give you compared to the peripherals. It seems like these players that are decent point getters shouldn't be falling as far as they are. But
yeah, it's weird.
I guess they are.
Oh, I may not be able to go defense.
Yeah.
Just because there's one player that's standing out to me that's like...
I know who you're looking at.
It's exactly who you're looking at, too.
Yeah, of course it is.
God, I don't want to do it, though.
Of course
I really don't want to do it. And
I'm
up. And then Artemi Panarin... Oh! Yeah. That's a good one. I didn't even think of that one. I love that. Reason. Yeah. Oh, I really don't know what I'm doing here. So I need a goalie, I think, for sure. I think I'd be screwed if I don't take a goalie, and I may actually have to do Pennington, to be honest. I think it might be the best option. There is one name that we both are looking at that is like sticking out to me like a sore thumb that I just feel like I have to do. And then if you look at skaters, what's out there for skaters still? How much time do I have? I have 18 seconds on the clock.
Enough time to blow it.
Enough time to blow it. You know what? Look, I hate taking centers in this situation, but I feel like he's fallen too far. I'm taking Evgeny Malkin. I just kind of have to in that situation. And then I'm a madman. I'm not going goalie. We're not going goalie here. I'm skipping it.
Good luck.
This is probably an awful, awful decision. And now I also, we've said this before, we don't like stacks. There's a specific goalie to me, or defenseman that I really want to take.
Ristolainen.
No, I do want to take Ristolainen. I'm taking Chris Letang.
All right, enjoy him being hurt.
Yeah, enjoy him being hurt. But you know what?
Like, the most injured.
I 2 of the most injured Pens, but you know what?
The 2 most injured Pens.
2 most injured Pens, but that's the option I'm going to take. I'm okay. Looking back on this later, I may really, really regret taking Malkin, I think, as a center and just what's out there, but whatever. And then Yossi goes, also thinking about Yossi, and then Max Domi.
Brady Tkachuk looks very overrated in this format right now.
So
they're projecting some crazy totals for him.
So what's crazy?
It's not possible that they won't happen.
Dauber and left wing lock actually have him at 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's actually even on
Dauber. Are they projecting him for 57 points?
Probably.
There goes Mika Zibanejad.
Like that pick too. He has center right wing. See, I should have taken a center that I forgot about.
All these stupid
ESPN positions. Yeah. Okay. I can't wait for Yahoo to put in their position so I can put it into my sheet. That'll help a ton. Okay, so also if looking at like who's left on rank, so this is why I'll do a quick little detour here. If you were to use the draft kit, this is where you go to all positions. For example, this is where ranking by ADP would be good, right? Like you're looking at Vincent Trocheck still left, Brady Tkachuk, Ristolainen, and they're pretty high. But in this situation, you're not necessarily saying, okay, this is where I want to take Ristolainen.
Yep.
What you're saying is, I want to get Risto at super good value relative to his ADP.
Yep.
So that's why you would
and
do
Jamie
that.
Ben are gone now.
Okay.
Jamie Ben not having center eligibility is annoying in this format.
It is very annoying. Why he doesn't, I guess. Whatever. Zibanejad, then Scheifele goes, followed by Jamie Ben. So I'm actually surprised here that we didn't see, and maybe this is because
Mark Stone.
Maybe this is because I didn't take a goalie, but I'm shocked that we're not having a goalie run here.
Yeah, you think it would come sooner or later.
You would think that it would have started, and we saw quite a few goalies go back to back.
Stone and then Hamilton.
Okay, Hamilton to me feels like a massive reach.
Yep, I'm not getting a lot of points out of him, but his peripherals are always really good.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Man, I'm sorry, Voorhees. I don't hate you, but I keep crapping on your picks, and I love that you're being contrarian. I love it. I love the contrarianness of it. Again, we talked a lot about peripheral free pasta last time, and this time we're picking your team. I don't know why. We're picking on your team, but that team now is Andre Vasilevsky, Frederick Anderson, Austin Matthews, Brendan Gallagher, Dougie Hamilton. And I might be wrong here. I can't see his messages or anything like that. But so I don't know if he's talking to us and telling us what he's thinking.
Nope.
But the thing with it is that I lost my train of thought there. But the thing with it is that I think that Voorhees is going for the guys that he wants.
There goes Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley is a great pick. Not a lot of peripherals, but a great pick points-wise. So someone said Gamby is overrated. Someone said Gamby is overrated.
Yeah, you are.
I'll take it. Maybe. There goes Line A. I like Line A there. Line A is not a bad pick.
One more pick to me, and then I got another.
Someone asked how to access that Google Docs sheet. So that Google Docs sheet will be available for everybody August 15th. Right now, it's only available for patrons. Patrons, if you sign up for Patreon, then you get access to it. But until August 15th, only patrons will get it. So if you want access to it now, let's say you're in the middle of a dynasty draft or something, you want to use them. There's also a categories league one. So this is the points one. There's also a categories one. If you want it, have to become a patron or sign up on Patreon, and then you'll get access to it immediately. But right now, it is hidden behind a paywall, and you can only see it. But we will open it up to everybody. PK Subban goes after Patrick Laine.
All right, and now I'm back to back-to-backs. Okay. So I think we've fallen far enough. The end of the fifth. I'm looking at, because of the right wing eligibility. This is kind of the reason I'm gonna go this way, even though all my guys have right wing eligibility so far. I think I'm gonna take Trocheck.
I like that. I was wishing he would.
I would hope that he would play power play this season. I don't know about a top power play this season, but they're projecting for 25 hits here on ESPN, which is way off.
That's stupid.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and take him, and now I got to look at my next
one.
And
he has center right wing.
Yep,
which is really nice.
And I think actually, despite me just talking about how I think they overrated Brady Tkachuk, I might take him next.
I don't hate it. It's similar to my Timo Meier.
It's an aggressive pick, but
and left wing center.
Yeah, left wing center.
I think you need left wing if I'm not mistaken.
I do, and
because you have 2 right wings already.
Yeah,
and three right wings technically.
So if I take Tkachuk here, it's a risky pick this early. I have to assume he's going to play the whole season and not get hurt. And all
you also
I don't really know a lot about him.
And you do have a goaltender, so you can be a little risky.
I'm actually. Am I going to go with him? I might. I'm going to scroll a bit first to see if there's anybody else I like more, but it's hard to trust these rankings.
What's funny is Brandon is not looking at my sheet, but he is. If he were to take Tkachuk, he would take the 2 guys that are left that are highest ranked.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go safer. I think I'm going to take Marchessault.
I like that. And he's a left wing, right wing. Yeah. So Brandon is starting to shore up his wings.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of flexibility later in the draft. I don't really care about flexibility early on, but ESPN's weird, so some of these guys have flexibility that probably shouldn't have it. So I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah.
But Marchessault, I think I can trust a little bit more than Tkachuk. I just don't quite know. I'll let somebody else take the risk there. And I think Marchessault is a little bit under.
And then Braden Holtby goes after Jonathan Marchessault.
I actually don't remember what I projected Marchessault for in our thing. Did you even call him out in the Vegas part? I may not have.
I did.
Did you?
I don't remember what I said. You probably said like 58 or something.
Nah, I said 60-something.
Yeah,
I would have said 64 or 66 or something like that. But, which I think is actually what they have projected for, to be fair. I think ESPN has them projected for like 66 or something. These are last season stats. So he got 59 last season. But his fantasy points for our format were really high. Higher than almost anybody's projected for so far. Or that's left. So, I don't mind it. It's a little safer, I think. There was somebody else I had in my mind too, but maybe next time. Probably not.
So I think one issue with my team right now is and then Torrey Krug goes.
Yep.
Good pick this late, especially when you look at a lot of the guys that are left as far as power play or their deployment in general and what they can do offensively as defensemen. It's not bad. Okay, so now we're positional drafts are interesting because you really do get to the bottom of the barrel pretty quick. When you're in forward defense mode, I think you can go probably till round 9 and you don't feel like you're scraping. When you get this far, you feel like you're scraping because you feel like you need a D, you feel like you need a goalie, or you might feel like you need an elite center. And so you start thinking, well, there's this guy on the board that I really want, but that other position is going to get to me and I need that position a little bit more. So it starts to get interesting, and a lot earlier. And so that's my one. Oh, and Tom Wilson goes.
I feel like that's a little early.
I feel like that's early.
He's not getting a lot of points. There's no Pims in this league.
Taking a look at who's available on the board, too. Elias Pettersson. Love Elias Pettersson. Why does he have left wing?
I don't know.
What in the world?
Elias Pettersson, Dustin Byfuglien, Mark Giordano, I'll go.
Good.
Giordano being an auto pick. Dustin Byfuglien was actually who I was looking at next. I thought hopefully he would sneak by, but not the case.
And I think the thing with I think Giordano is actually another guy that, like we were saying, pay attention to ADP. He might be a little high on ADP because of autos.
Yep.
I think people may value him. People are high on him anyways, and I think that the auto will actually double that a little bit. Like, he's going to go too high, 1, because of autos, and then 2, people are actually drafting him a little too high, so people may think they need to reach more than they actually need to. So Giordano goes off the board. Okay, so this team is actually, the Daddlers is looking pretty good, actually. Brent Burns, Sebastian Aho, Claude Giroux, John Gibson, Mark Stone, and Dustin Byfuglien. Not a bad team. I like that quite a bit. And then the auto, here's the auto, one of the auto teams. That's actually a good team to point out here. So Braden Point, Mikko Rantanen, Dylan Larkin, Alexander Barkov, Jamie Benn, and Mark Giordano. I actually kind of like that team.
It's all right.
It's not awful, but I like Matt Murray goes off the board. And then Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse feels like a reach.
Yeah,
quite
I think
frankly.
he's gonna get less. They're projecting for 48 points.
See, my issue, I think Darnell Nurse maybe...
Oh, he's going to get a ton of blocks.
And then Ryan O'Reilly.
He's going to get a ton of blocks.
He is. But I think that he's going to be one of the most overdrafted players it
is still the 6th round.
Pre-camp. Now, if camp, let's say he's set to be the top power play guy, that's probably a good spot to take him.
Yep.
But right now, with the risk of not knowing whether he will or will not be, I think that's risky.
Yep.
Personally.
All right, so Ryan O'Reilly went. He has right wing eligibility for whatever reason. He's never played wing in his life, from what I understand.
But sure, I guess he has.
Maybe he has. I don't think so, though. There goes Philip Forsberg. Great pick
love.
for you.
I was thinking about Philip Forsberg. Damn it! So I'm on the clock now. Taking a look here at what's still available. So, man, what to do? Now, ideally, I think here I'd like to take a defenseman again. Obviously, Darnell Nurse went. Jacob Trouba is there, actually. I can get him again. I think this is actually kind of a decent place to get him at. So this is pick 73. Oh, boy. What do you do here? Now, I'm going to go a peripheral direction and someone who I think has upside on the points department, and that's going to be Shea Weber.
Yeah, you better hope he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, my team is looking really risky for a hurt perspective, but I'm going to assume that. Look, I'm projecting them out here.
Team
and there is, and I had said that if he fell to me, I'd take him. I said that last time. I think I'm an idiot right now for skipping goalies, maybe, just from a volume perspective. But I'm going to go Brady Tkachuk.
Here we go.
Well. Yep.
I'm glad to have him off the board, so I don't have to think about it next time.
This is
good enough for me.
I really did not think he'd get to me. So the fact that he did get to me, and he has center left wing, so I fill out my 2 left wing spots, but they are dual. So right now, the nice thing that I'm seeing about my team is that all my wings so far are dual. My centers are not, but that's okay. I have dual on that. And then Jacob Trouba goes.
Yep. And then DeBrincat.
There goes my boy. And then DeBrincat. So one reason that I did that is and this, of course, in a real draft, you would never say this because you give away kind of your strategy. But the reason I didn't go goaltender is that there's still goaltenders that I really like out there, according to my rankings that I'm using. There's still a lot out there, and clearly people aren't taking goaltenders. And so, like we say in all our advice stuff, is follow the way your draft is going. So, yeah, you would say, okay, there I should take a goaltender, but the way the draft is flowing, could I miss the goalie run? Yeah, but looking at the composition of the teams that already have goalies, seeing the goalies seem to be getting faded, I'll fade goalies too. Sure, why not?
Yep. I don't want to blow it, but I have a strategy coming up. But it's important for my next pick. I feel like if I say what I'm about to do, that somebody else will snipe me, because nature of what's happening right now. But as soon as my pick comes up, I will explain my strategy for the rest of the draft, because I will have locked in what
you were trying to do.
Yeah. Pecorine goes. Good. He's at round 7. That's amazing, actually. If he can get 50
not from
plus
a volume
starts,
perspective.
Yeah, he's not going to get volume, but I still don't hate it. Like, he'll be able to get decent saves and wins.
So that team already has Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep.
Which helps a lot. Yep. And then John Klingberg goes after Pecorine. Then Teuvo Teravainen feels early there. He's an auto. That's why he feels early. And then Victor Arvidsson.
Yep. Fantastic. Arvidsson needed to go sooner or later.
Yeah. And I like Klingberg that late too. Considering, I took Shea Weber. Klingberg is the next best probably offensive defenseman there.
Yep. The D is getting tight.
It is definitely getting tight.
Especially if you want guys that can provide something other than just points. Yeah. Okay, we're waiting on Voorhees now. This is pick 7.
Yeah, I have a plan, I think, after...
7-9? 7-8.
Yeah, I think I have a plan going forward, too. I also will not say it just yet, but I think it'll work out for me.
Yep.
We'll see. I don't know. I always say that. Matt Dumba, that's the best defenseman on my board right now, according to these rankings from the sheet.
Yep.
Matt Dumba was actually... over 82 games, of course. He was ranked 58th overall. So the fact that he got taken like 80th, that's fantastic. And that's why you sort by ADP, because if you see an ADP, he's going around, 80s, but he's ranked in the 50s. That's amazing value around that pick. Mm-hmm. And that's really why, that's how you want to get smart about drafting, is you want to take guys at their right ADP that are valued higher. Yep. And that's how you win drafts.
Okay, this goes Couturier, which is actually...
Dumba followed by Couturier.
Very good pick, and helps me out because he was the third man in on my next strategy, which would have made me uncomfortable.
Yep.
There goes Carter Hart. That's a good pick.
Love that pick.
Hopefully Philly isn't telling the truth, and they said they expect to start each goalie somewhere between 30 and 50 times. And then he gets more starts.
30 to 50 is a pretty big range.
Right, but 50...
Give Carter Hart 50, and then 50,
but
55.
That's... If he only gets 50 to 55, there are better options on the board right now, I think.
Yeah. Looking at our Twitch comments really quick, Trouba actually has good banger stats. Agreed. And especially this year, I think I'd expect more. And of course, like you said, Dahlin goes. 7-11. Love that. Thought about taking him too. And then Couturier is going to have great value, except for only being a C. Agreed. I think Couturier at 7-9 is a steal. Okay, so what are you thinking here?
All right.
And you said you'd share a little bit on your...
I am going to share a little bit. I need to make the pick first, and it's... Oh, we got drafted. I didn't even pay attention.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It doesn't actually matter that much.
That's it. He's going to start scrolling here.
I'm not. I know my next pick. I'm going to take Drew Doughty. I am they're projecting him for 51 points, which is pretty reasonable. He's going to get a bunch of blocks, which are not factored in here. So I do like him this deep. My strategy was going to be actually take John Gibson for off nights and then go 3 goalies. But that can't happen because somebody took him at some point.
Of course you were thinking about
honestly
Gibson.
Did not realize.
When do you not think about John Gibson?
When don't I? But... so that means I'm going to take Doughty. I still might go goaltender, but I guess I don't really need to at this point.
Erik Karlsson and Doughty are good. That's a good defense to have.
Yeah. I can't complain about that.
No.
I can also just look and see what's available here. Pacioretty has fallen pretty far considering the amount of hits he gives, but I don't know if 64 points is...
Especially in this...
Yeah.
These points, it works out. He's a good look, though. Someone put on the watch list to see if he gets to you later.
Get another... Ooh, I might do something funny here.
Uh-oh.
What I think has fallen far enough at this point is Phil Kessel.
Oh, you're right.
I'm going to take Phil Kessel 8-1. This actually puts me in a right wing pickle a little bit. Not that big, not that bad of one, because I do have. Oh my God, I have 5 right wing eligible players.
Well done.
But only 2 are forced right wing, so the rest of them have some play. As long as I don't wind up with 3 right wing only, I think I'm all right.
So according to the sheet, right, that we're using here, that I'm using, that was a little bit of a reach. So Phil
For
Kessel
Kessel?
is projected 103rd overall in points when you average out Dauber and left wing lock, and you
Yeah.
took him at 8-1. So a little bit of a reach.
Well,
but,
8-1 is how many picks is that?
So that's
96.
80. That was pick what 80, 85.
Okay.
So 85 reached for a 100. That's not terrible given you're at the end of the draft. You're probably I don't think there's a way Kessel gets back to you. Most likely. Doughty was great value.
I don't really mind it that much anyway.
Doughty was almost exactly proper value. And then Tomas Hertl goes after Kessel. And then Andrei Svechnikov. I like the Svechnikov pick a lot. There's so much upside. I was hoping he'd make it to me. And he's left wing, right wing eligible. And obviously Tomas Hertl has the benefit of being center, left wing, and right wing eligible.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Both good picks. I like Hertl that late.
It's really hard sometimes to do some of these drafts because we know that we're doing these drafts mostly with patrons, which clearly listen to our show. And so you can tell that, like Hertl falling because he's overprojected a little bit. And you see guys like Binnington still on the board. Like you see things perhaps that are influenced by us saying, certain things, which affects it. And so after Andrei Svechnikov, Skinner goes, who's left wing only, and then Pierre-Luc Dubois, center left wing. I love the Dubois pick. Man, Voorhees, we are friends again. I know I crapped on your team a lot, but the last few picks have been fantastic. So I like the Dubois pick. He has the upside of points, and he's got the peripherals. Jeff Skinner, sure, you've got goals. Not awful.
No, he shoots a lot too, which is really good.
And then Pietrangelo goes, followed immediately by Kuznetsov. Okay, so Jeff Skinner, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Alex Pietrangelo, and Kuznetsov. That's the order you're looking at there. The draft is kind of getting a little bit quicker. I'm surprised. People seem to have their guys lined up.
Well, we did you have two guys autoing, which speeds things up.
Yeah,
for sure.
it does speed things up quite a bit. I'm telling you, man, this auto pick team is not awful. Aside from the Teuvo pick. The Teuvo pick, a little bit of reach. And then Yandel goes. The real question is, who's going to spite us and take... And then Seth Jones go, man, I wanted Jones.
And
That's
the
a
auto
good
pick for Varlamov just feels early. But, I mean, it's an auto. So, whatever.
And that team has Ben Bishop as well. Actually, a Ben Bishop-Varlamov tandem is probably the perfect thing that I'd like. That's a really good tandem, in my opinion.
Varlamov doesn't get enough starts. I feel like in this format, because it's points, you're going to want more starts. He could get starts, but I don't think so.
I mean, Greiss is back.
Yeah, Greiss is good. What are you talking about? He was like a 9...
Oh, come on. That's
2-8
behind him. And then Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes. Great pick. I like that. Okay, so now I think I need to take a goalie. And there's one goalie to me. So if you look at my team right now. Okay, let's go back and look at my team. So I've got Eichel, Malkin, Ovechkin, Kachuk, Meyer, Letang, and Weber. Now, I have a few ways I can go about this. There's still a lot of defensemen, actually, that I like quite a bit. So I'm going to fade defensemen here. Just because defensemen aren't going as much as would make me react. Like, if more defensemen were going, I'd react. I mean, okay, fair. Pietrangelo, Yandel, Seth Jones, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson all just went back-to-back, so whatever. So instead, I'm going to go goaltender.
All right.
But I'm going to resolve both of my goaltender issues here immediately. Because there's two goaltenders out there that I really like that are still available. One of them is Martin Jones. Hold on, I'm going to get autoed. Oh no, my cat stepped on
You can see it right there. He's right
Where
there.
is he? I got autoed! No! I got autoed Backstrom. Oh my god. So my cat stepped all over my keyboard and screwed me up. Everything is... Oh my god.
This is what you deserve.
So this is also a good lesson in what... I'm still going to take Markstrom. Or I mean, I'm going to take Martin Jones. God, my cat.
Yes, Markstrom was the other one.
He was not the other one. God, that sucks.
Gamby gets got. Here today on the podcast.
Wait, he autoed for me, and so he... Oh, God, it was both.
Yeah, you went into auto mode, so you autoed Lindholm and Backstrom.
My cat put me into auto pick mode.
Oh my god. What have you done?
Everything has gone to hell.
Oh, this is so funny.
Yeah, I don't know what to do now.
You should just cry.
If this were a real draft, I'd genuinely cry after those picks. So I get autoed.
I should take both of the players you were just mentioning.
You don't even know what the other one was.
It doesn't matter who it is. I'll take them.
Oh my god, that was bad.
Okay, so Tyson Barrie goes. Bo Horvat goes. I don't know if there's better centers left. then Horvat. There goes Martin Jones. I think he might have gotten. Oh no, he got.
Oh, I got my team sucks.
You got so good.
If this were a real league, I'd probably just go auto and say screw it. I think there's some ways I can fix it still, but like
with the draft.
Wow. I mean, I couldn't think of 2 picks I want less than Elias Lindholm and Nicholas Backstrom at this point. Like if I'm gonna take a center, I'd take Sean Monahan. I wanted Monahan on my next turn. Like
he's gone now.
Now he's gone. Yeah, but God, man, that sucks.
You got catted.
Okay, so Bo Horvat, then Joe Pavelski goes, and then Bo Horvat, Joe Pavelski, Martin Jones, Kyle Connor, Sean Monahan, then Gustafsson finally. I hate this so much. I mean, I guess this is a good lesson for everybody. What happens when things go wrong? I'll show you how to get out of it, maybe, if I can.
Now, you dug yourself a pretty deep grave at this point.
Very massive grave, but I think there's some ways I can fix this. Yeah, so when your cat auto picks you, here's what you do. God, this is brutal.
There goes Shabbat. That's pretty late, actually. I'm surprised you made it that
That's
far.
That's who I was thinking about as the defense if I went that. But I think there's still a few options that I like. So I'm fuming now.
I bet
and then Ghost goes, ugh.
I'm cool with Ghost going.
Ah! I am in deep hell here. I have no goalies.
That's funny.
I have a single goalie because my cat auto-picked a center. 2 centers! Ah!
This is the best. This is the best draft I've ever done.
I hate this. I had both of those players lined up. Lovely. In Doughty and Kessel at the time. Cool. Your cat saved Jones for me. You're welcome. Yeah, you know what? If my cat comes over here, I'll grab him and show it to you. Show you the culprit of who just ruined my draft for me. It would have been perfect. It would have been exactly what I would have said at some point. This is the direction I want to go. God. So.
Okay.
And then Mantha goes. Mantha goes after Ghost. Mantha feels like a little bit of a reach, but who knows? My entire grasp of this draft is now off, so I don't know what's earlier.
All right, so I'm gonna do what I always do and take Ricky Rax.
Yep, I like that. That's a good pick.
Center left wing, which fills 2 gaps that I have. And you know what? I drafted this player way later in the last draft, but I'm gonna take Devin Dubnyk.
That's the goalie I wanted.
That gives me 2 high volume starters with Hellebuck and Dubnyk.
I was gonna go Jones and Dubnyk and get the volume, and well, damn it! And then he falls to Brandon. That makes me even more mad. The fact that he falls to Brandon is even more mad. Oh boy! I wish I would have had a video of my cat running all over both my keyboards. Also messed up my sheet at first, and I had to fix that. So Dubnyk goes.
It would have been bad had he turned off my mic, which was very close.
Oh yeah, that would have been bad. So Jake Muzzin goes, followed by Andrei Kopitar. I really like Kopitar that late. I think that's fantastic value. I don't know about Muzzin that late. I still think there's a few defensemen.
Muzzin has really good peripherals. We'll give him that, but
good peripherals. But there's a few other defensemen I think that I like more than Muzzin that I'd take at this point. And then Philip Grubauer goes. Love Philip Grubauer this late. Of course, the big question mark there is going to be the big question mark behind him is well. What do you do about volume? Then Brock Besser goes. Wow, Besser is Voorhees, man. Voorhees and I are buds again. We're friends. I'm gonna live with anybody. I'm living vicariously through Voorhees because my draft is ruined. Although it's not. Some of the guys that I wanted are actually falling to me. The issue with my look, the guy I wanted gets autoed. God, yep. This is all gone to hell for me. I can't think of a center I'd want less than Backstrom too. It's like it's fate.
It's funny. That's what it is.
I don't hate Lindholm. I just didn't want Lindholm there because my
this whole thing is funny to me. I'm enjoying it.
And then I have 2 injury prone. My team is team injury here. Jack Eichel, Evgeny Malkin, Kevin Letang, Shea Weber. And
Kevin Letang. Who's Kevin Letang? Is it his nephew? Or do you mean Chris Letang? The player that plays hockey.
I don't actually want Chris Letang on my team, so I took Kevin Letang, his nephew. Yes. I'm in shambles here.
Just throwing all
Cam Atkinson goes.
Gonna have heat stroke.
I'm like. Ah! I'm sorry if this is loud. I need to yell when drafts go like this. Now I know to lock my cat out next time. I've also got like a keyboard plus my computer. I didn't really see him. He came out of my. I need to fix my peripheral vision. Got to do some
Braden Shen and Matt Barzal go.
That's good. I like that. Actually, this is not. So this is what's making me even more annoyed is that the guys I wanted after those goaltenders, I would have gotten.
No, not anymore.
And now I can't take them because I need goaltenders. There's still good goalies out there, though. I'm still happy with my goalie options. Not fantastic, but I'll live, I think.
I feel pretty good about my team so far.
What sucks is that I'm going to need to reach here. And
How did Rask? How is
my
he still
guy,
there?
my guy goes. Of course, you know what? Who cares? Just
You take
I can't curse, but just screw my whole draft up. F me up, fam. Is that I'm just gonna say that. I don't think you say that anymore in popular culture, but
Nope.
F me up, fam. That's what my cat did. Now everyone else is too. Taking my guys. I'm gonna take Jacob Markstrom. One of the few volume guys left. I'm in shambles. incomplete shambles. Let's take a look at what's available on defense here. I think I goalie I can fix. I think at this point, so if a draft goes like this, you can fix goaltending by having a goalie on the bench. I need to make up a lot of room here, so I'm going to take actually Rasmus Ristolainen. I think he's fallen way too far at this point.
Yep.
And he's ranked way too low because he doesn't have blocks.
Yep.
So on ESPN right now, if you were drafting, he doesn't have blocks, which makes him really low. But on my sheet, Rasmus Ristolainen is actually ranked 28 overall in the league, which I think points are too high. But that's a guy that at, what is it, pick 121. Does my cat want to come over and pick someone else for me?
You might want to make this big.
I'm taking Ristolainen there. I love getting
there is
Ristolainen
a very high chance that he gets traded, and that might be what they're kind of banking on.
But again, I think actually they kind of agree if you add blocks, probably.
Yeah.
And of course, no power play points. But I like my defense now. Chris Letang, Shea Weber, and Ristolainen. Man, do I have a questionable defense that I like. I like my defense, but it's very questionable. Oh, yeah, I'm not up. Now Snoop Lion is up.
I love how badly you got roasted. This is like my favorite thing that's ever happened on the entire podcast. It's the best.
Mantha has good projected hits and shots. I agree with that. Yeah, you know what? Mantha, I think, feels like a reach just because a guy like Voracek is still on the board. But you're right. Someone said this in Twitch.
Yep.
He does have upside on points, and of course he has good, peripheral points. And then Voracek followed by Taze. I like both of those picks.
Yep. Taze, wow, round 11.
Yeah. I mean, that's a guy who's probably going to go point per game. And his shooting is going up, which is good. He's going to be with Taze. 11-3 is a fantastic place to get Jonathan Taze.
Yep. There's a few guys on the board I'm surprised are still there at this point, but...
Again, but all these drafts, there goes William Nylander. A lot of these drafts go in such a way, and then Clayton Keller followed by Peter Mrazek. Clayton Keller is a great pick there because of his triple eligibility.
Yep. And then goes Ronta. Talk about injury scares, but this late, that's great.
I think you should have let me get Ronta so that my whole team could be injured at once this season. Peter Mrazek followed by Ronta, so we'll probably see goalies go here, or start to go, with people filling out their goalies. So yeah, so if you're me right now in this situation, you get so screwed in auto-picking like that, or you missed a few picks, you were in the bathroom, I don't know, you were really trying hard. What you want to do with goalies like this when you're stuck in this situation, I know now for a fact that I need to take 3 goalies total. So that's really what you're looking at. You're not going to get volume guys like I would have liked in Jordan Binnington and Martin Jones, and I would have been so set in wins.
Is going to be a volume guy. I think he's going to get 55 or so.
But with wins, okay, with 55 with wins, and you have a guy like Martin Jones, I'm set on wins there.
Yeah.
So I would have been happy with wins, and that's exactly why I wanted those 2 guys. Or I would have taken Dubnyk. So I would have taken Dubnyk or Binnington, and there I would have been set in volume. But now I can't really get volume. I mean, Markstrom is volume, but you look at the rest, and there's either injury scares or volume, whatever. And so...
One of the teams has come back.
Yes, he has come back.
Okay,
Okay, so...
It's okay, you were on auto-pick mode.
No, all good. So Antti Ranta goes, followed by Nino Niederreiter, right wing, left wing, great. Yeah. And then Kyle Palmieri, and then Dadonov.
See,
I like Dadonov a lot.
Over Niederreiter.
Yes.
Palmieri's probably pretty good. Right wing only, but it doesn't really matter that much. And likely playing on that top line.
Yep.
Should provide pretty decent hits as well. I mean, at this point, Pacioretty has fallen extremely far, I think, for this format.
Yes. Anders Lee goes after Dadonov.
So I'm going to take Pacioretty. It's just going to happen. And now I'm going to start scrolling for my next pick. which I think
You
I'm
probably
gonna
need to
take
go
defense.
Yeah, because you have only 2 defensemen. You have Carlson and Dowdy, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
I'm making the same decision I made in the last one. Which, do I go Justin Falk or do I go Ryan Pulock? The question is, does Pulock get top power play? I know we're not counting power play points, but
I like Pulock a lot for what it's worth. He's ranked pretty highly on the sheet as well.
Yeah, it's just I think he's going to be out peripheraled slightly by Falk, so he's going to have to make it up in like every single category. He's going to be outshot a little bit, probably out hit a little bit, probably out blocked a little bit. But if you can make that up with points, which is not a big feat, then it's worth. So I'm gonna assume that he does that, and I'm gonna take Ryan Pulock.
I grabbed my charger real quick. Narrate this draft.
Yep, there goes Gamby. He's rage quit the draft completely. Which I don't blame him, as he's made a mess of things.
What happened?
He wants to blame it on the cat, but he certainly made a mess of things.
I leave for 2 seconds, and Brandon blames me for everything. Makes lies up. Ugh.
So now we're waiting. I feel like I've sniped people several times, which makes me super happy. There's nothing that feels better than when somebody tells you sniped them in a draft.
Brandon does snipe you. There was one year that I was
car.
above. That's
wow. Risky at 12, I think.
Risky at 12, I agree.
Shea Theodore I do like. I feel like I would have taken Falk over Theodore, but the upside with Theodore, I mean, I did project him for 51 or whatever it was, so I do like him, and he does shoot a lot, but he doesn't do anything else as far as peripherals, I don't think. I don't think he's a block guy. I might be not telling the truth here, but I'm pretty sure he's not a block guy. That does fill out the defenseman for the Barry, Team Barry.
Team Barry. Did Team Barry get Barry?
No.
I always like seeing
I think Barry's still around.
And then Edler goes. Good pick with Edler there. I think Edler is under.
I would have taken Falk over Edler.
You see, but the thing with Edler is that his peripherals are so good, and he's probably going to get better in the blocks category because he's going to be more defensive. True.
And Falk is he's no slouch on blocks. Falk has better multi-cats than a lot of people seem to give him credit for. He doesn't have much else. He's a disappointment because you expect him to put up points, but you can't have it all, it turns out. It looks like Weens has come in too. So now we've got everybody.
Everybody at the end of the draft is coming in, which is great.
Oh, somebody said I kept Team Mepnik has said I keep sniping their picks. That means you are trying to make good picks.
Yes, that is a good thing.
I'm sorry, but I'm also not at all. All right.
It depends on how highly you think of Brandon. If you think of Brandon pretty highly and he's sniping you, good. If you think low of him, then you better rethink your strategy.
Let's see if anybody's missing major pieces. Okay, Vonnie. Okay, he was not here, so there's not much you can say here, but he has 1 defenseman.
Oh, boy.
So that is bad news.
That's bad news bears for
Z-Hawk has only 2, so he's probably going to need to make that up a little bit. There's a lot of teams here, actually, that only have 2 defensemen. Oh,
Quinn Hughes goes now.
The auto-pick team Weens has 0 defense.
Oh, boy. Okay, so not get auto this year.
That's unfixable.
Yeah, you can't fix that anymore. I mean, Quinn Hughes is going.
Yeah.
No offense to Quinn Hughes, but there's no peripherals there.
Yeah.
You're not looking at.
Falk is still on the board. It seems very weird to me.
It does.
Yeah. Spoiler to anybody who's picking next, Falk is the best defenseman by a country mile now, I think.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's even close.
Yeah. So Z-Hawk says he's gonna make up his defense here.
Oh,
how much you want to bet he takes Falk?
I bet he takes Falk just because you said it too. Yep.
Well, not even just because I said to. He's been making the picks I would make in his position.
Yep.
I think a lot of times. So I think that he will make this Falk pick.
Kako.
So that was a
love
pick,
that pick.
Yeah. I mean, we still have Quinn Hughes.
High upside. There's a lot of peripheral upside. Plus, there's goal upside. Mm-hmm. Just all around. That's a good.
I really have no
pick.
idea what to expect from peripherals from guys like him and Hughes.
No, it's hard. I think Hughes. Hughes, Jack Hughes for that matter.
Yep.
I mean, even Quinn maybe. Both of them are not that valuable in this league because we count peripherals pretty heavily.
So Z-Hawk is asking if he should pick Falk. No, you should take Neil Pionk or Joki Haru.
Or no, our favorite Ekblad.
Oh yeah, Ekblad.
Take Ekblad. Ekblad is still there. Goes
Justin
Falk.
Falk. There he goes.
Okay, so he does shore up his defense there. That's by far the best defenseman left on the board there.
Yep.
And it's not close.
Really misclicked. There's really not a ton of options left on defense. that are going to be reliable. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Cat
Get
time.
the cat. Okay, here we go. Come here. Say hello to the cat. Oh, boy. There he is. He's a little munchkin, too. He has little short legs. So he doesn't... I feel like sometimes he doesn't know, and I'm away from the mic, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. So there you go. There's the cat. Feed him to the dog. I'm done with you. I love the Justin Falk pick, though. That actually... I'm with you. I'm shocked he fell that far. Now Jeff Petrie goes.
Yes, Werenski is still around, but he doesn't do a lot.
He doesn't have peripherals, and that's the
yeah.
problem. He gets sometimes points. He's going to be maybe equal to Seth Jones in points, but just doesn't get you the peripherals
I'm under the impression at this point you could find a player that will outperform Werenski without getting points, really.
Yes.
Who that player is, I actually don't know. I'm going to have to find him. But, yeah. I mean, you could take a chance on a guy like Sam Girard at this point. I would love to have a better fourth defenseman, but yeah, I mean, Werenski might have to be one of the next best ones, which is depressing, actually. There's not a lot left on defense.
So let's see what my rankings say now that's left. You're going to love... Look at the one that's next. Look at the one that's the next highest rating.
Oh, man, yeah.
There's two out here that are just like unbelievable because of peripherals.
Yeah.
Just like going, I think at this point now, actually, what we're forgetting is that there's Mikhail Granlund goes. I like that pick.
Unprojected players.
So the funny thing is that at this point, it's forget like the unprojected. There's the other thing that you're looking at here is that you got to remember that in this league, peripherals count for a ton.
Yeah.
And so you can technically get very valuable defensemen that are just peripheral monsters and will get you those points.
Yep.
And so there's a few I'm looking at specifically that are actually ranked above, the Werenskis, the Ekblads, and that kind of stuff.
Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
That might be a reach. I kind of want to do it just because my team is in shambles, but I'm sorry, I cannot give away my strategy anymore. Like, I'm already as defeated as it is.
Yeah.
My team is already at a negative.
A player I will mention, there is a little bit up. It's risky at this point, but Devin Tays could have some upside.
He could.
You'd be looking at points.
Ehlers goes. So now I'm up. I think it's quite obvious I need to go goaltender, given that I only have one. So let's see who is the next best goaltender. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's time. And I wouldn't... Okay, I'm going to type this in here so you can see it, and then I can think about my next pick. I wouldn't do this early right now, normally. My team is just in such shambles here. I think Quick is good for a lot of starts. So I'm going to bank on saves here and not bank on wins. I just need volume. And if you look at the guys that are still available, like Ron Leonard, Jimmy Howard, Hank is an injury risk, so I would love if Hank fell to me, let's say in the next round, I'd take him. But in this situation, the last guy left that really has a ton of volume, almost guaranteed, is Jonathan Quick. So I'll go Jonathan Quick.
Yep.
Now, next up, I obviously need defense, and there's a specific defense. There's two defensemen that I want, but I can get them later, so I'm not going to get them now. So I'm just going to go by what's kind of the next best on the board to an extent. And there's a few options. Now, this one scares me because I think he's going to get traded, but I do think he's actually the best thing on the board here. And I'm going to go Chris Kreider. A lot of peripherals.
Yep.
The fear here, of course, is that he gets traded. But I think Chris Kreider at 12, what is this? Or 13-1 is a great thing on turn. He's going to get you the peripherals. He has a lot of point upside, especially if he plays on the top line. He's obviously going to be top power play. Of course, the fear there is he gets traded.
There's a player on the board that I expect to be gone before my turn that for some stupid reason is right wing only here. We're going to talk. Josh Anderson, I think, needs to be gone very soon. He's not going to get much more. He might break 50, right? If he breaks 50 with the peripherals he gives, he's very good in this format.
My goalies are Markstrom and Quick. Okay, Leonard goes, followed by Ekblad.
Yeah. Ekblad. Why would you do it? Is he autoing again?
No, I think Ekblad actually isn't a terrible option.
Wait. He might be autoing again. He is autoing. Okay. Yeah. He's autoing because he's got nobody left.
And there goes.
He's autoed everything. And now
there goes Josh Anderson.
That was his first defenseman was Aaron Ekblad. Yeah, there goes Josh Anderson. Yep. And there goes Oshie. Yeah, okay. And then Werenski. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as we get deep into this draft, everything gets, nothing's fantastic anymore. Correct. Everything hurts.
Everything actually does hurt during this draft, though.
Yep.
That's a fact.
So we're deep enough in the draft now that I'm a little less worried about taking forwards. I think there's just going to be options. And I'm thinking about filling out my defense.
Max Comtois by the Daddlers. That is interesting.
I hate it.
Yeah, I think that's a big risk.
That's a last round pick, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a last round pick. I don't think anyone would have stolen that one.
Yeah.
And so Comtois is a great pick in general in this league.
So let's take a look at that team.
That's a good example of, like, my cat is trying to make auto picks again. Get out of here.
So that team does have all of their positions filled. So there is that. They've got a pretty good defensive core with Burns, Bufflin, Pietrangelo, and Hughes. Yeah. Comtois is still a little bit of a stretch.
I think the issue is that, again, this gets back to kind of what we were talking about, right, where you're saying, do you need to take somebody there? And you just don't.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where, like, a whole ranking by ADP, you will get him later, so you don't have to worry about
Logan Couture should have gone way earlier.
Yes. Look, Couture is a great pick at 13-9.
He never should have fallen this far.
No. Gerard after that. Okay.
I do feel like I was handcuffed a little bit. I must have been looking at Couture literally for the last 4 rounds.
Yes, I was.
He's
too.
one of those guys that, like, I want to take him, but he's still there.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take David Riddick as a third goalie. I think the goalies are fairly valuable in this league.
You'll need 3 goalies.
And having a third starter, probably starter anyway. He's the only option left, I think, that is likely to get majority starts.
Yep.
Okay, and now I think I'm going to have to take another defenseman, and there are some options here.
If you snipe the guy I showed you, I will be furious.
I'm not going to take him. Jared Spurgeon is an interesting option.
Remember that this is a 16-round draft, and we are currently on the first turn of the 14th.
Yeah. So Spurgeon, he gets a lot of blocks which aren't factored in here. There are some other options. I think I'm going to just stick with my original guns. I think Charlie McAvoy is actually an interesting option.
He is.
But I'm not going to take him. I'm going to go
You're
with...
You're going to do Fowler, aren't you?
I'm going to go with Adam Larson.
I love that pick.
Big
so
hits, big blocks,
peripherals.
and actually puts up decent shots.
And he fell far because he's not projected. If blocks were projected on ESPN, he would have gone higher.
Yeah. Well, hits too.
Yeah.
He's likely to be one of the top hitting defensemen. Yeah. I probably could have let him, this is another one, maybe I didn't need to make that pick. I probably could have left it for later. But I think my next 2 picks are also going to be gambles.
So, you can take a look here at what this is the sheet, what it's starting to look like. All right, you're getting deep. But again, this is where you start to look at, damn it, show my guy. You start to look at, like, let's say Hornquist, right? He's ranked 99th. You look at ADP, and then you go back to the draft, and you say, okay, we're on pick like 158. That's good value. And that's how you want to draft, is you want to look at, okay, where are they going ADP-wise, and then what's their rank? So here you can start to see what's kind of available, and there's nothing. It's starting to get deep. Here's the goaltenders. When Jimmy Howard is the next best goaltender on the board, you are down in the dumps.
You see all those goaltenders. I think Riddick is the one that I think is going to get the most starts.
He's actually, and it's funny that he's literally the same almost as Cam Talbot.
Because they expect him to split. And I actually like Blackwood too.
You can see here, this is Dauber.
And
this is left wing lock,
right?
This is Dauber and left wing lock. So Dauber has Riddick getting less starts. Left wing lock has Talbot getting less starts. So you can see that division there. When you average them out, they're virtually equal.
Yep.
And here's the draft.
So Matt Duchene goes. Then Nikita Gusev.
I like
there. And
Gusev
Parise,
a lot.
who we've talked about. Nobody's going to let me get him in this one, seems like. Good pick there, too. We've talked about him. He's a guy you might have to drop at some point due to injury, but this league, the way it's formatted, is one of the few ones where I would take a third goalie. But if you can get 3 starters in a league like this, it would have been great if I could have gotten Gibson, because then you have the off nights. I would have gotten a ton of starts out of it. And I actually think if you have a guy like Ronta or you have a guy like Rene, taking their backup is actually a pretty decent option at the end. Getting handcuffs in a league like this, I mean, you're guaranteed they're not going to start at the same time, so you're not going to have that overlap. So,
or you can be me and not have goalies.
Oh, Merzlikins goes. There you go.
I like that a lot.
And Konechny, who I think he doesn't have center eligibility here for some reason, but
I love Merzlikins. I think Merzlikins by half season is the starter.
Yeah, absolutely could happen.
I think he's fantastic. His film looks great. I think he's going to translate to North American ice fine. And the fact that there's so much confidence and you guys are 1A, 1B, I think only helps him feel comfortable in the net.
Yep. Okay, so
I still can't believe that happened to me.
It's so funny to me. I love it. Boone Jenner's still on the board as well, which is kind of interesting at this point. He's not my favorite player because he's not going to get a ton of points, but the way things work in this format, it's not the worst.
Ryan Getzlaf being there is also a little bit surprising.
Given that Ryan Suter goes. Ryan Suter's actually really good here too. I mean, his peripherals continuing to drop, but you're looking really late. Ryan Johansson and then not a pick of Josh Morrissey. Boy, does his team stink defensively. Ekblad Morrissey are his only defenseman so far. So happens when you auto. Eric Stahl is also hanging around. He's not my favorite, but I think he has a little bit of upside. Good shots. Galchenyuk is still
Van Riemsdyk goes.
JVR. Okay, yep. You have some gambles out there like Dominic Kuhn hanging out?
Like I said before, I need a third goalie pretty much. Just also to protect me from Quick getting injured. So, you know what? Here, I'm going to take the upside, and I'm going to go in with Henrik Lundqvist. So know that I'm going Henrik Lundqvist. I think it's another thing for starts, and there actually I do have an upside for wins if the Rangers can actually string together a pretty good team. And then after that, there's a specific defenseman I want. Do I really want him to be my last defenseman? Not really.
I think taking
ideal.
a fifth defenseman here actually might be okay too. I'm not quite sure how the things break down, but it's going to be hard to find. You need to find another peripheral guy.
Correct. So I'm obviously going Hank. So take Hank there. Cool. I got my guy. Actually kind of happy about it because I have him. I think I've recovered well from my disastrous Backstrom team situation. But okay, so next up, all my wings except for Kreider are multi-eligible, which makes me feel pretty happy. I really don't know what exactly I'm going to go here.
You have 3 full centers though.
So here's the thing. I'm definitely going to go Boone Jenner.
Yeah.
It's just a peripheral thing more than anything.
And the triple eligibility this late, that's really
triple eligibility this late is amazing. Plus, he's got the peripherals and everything for it.
Nice consistent.
Yeah, and now I need a defenseman. So my defensemen so far are Chris Letang, Shea Weber, and Risto. I need one more. And so then after Boone Jenner goes Eric Stahl and Ryan McDonough.
Ryan McDonough auto pick.
Ryan McDonough is an auto pick.
Because nobody pick him on purpose.
No. Okay, and then Boone Jenner. I take Boone Jenner, which is followed by Eric Stahl, who's a center only, and Ryan McDonough.
Somebody asked Lindell or Dunn. That's an interesting question this late. I don't think there's a right answer to it. Dunn is not going to get you any real peripherals. So.
And Lindell just goes.
I would take Lindon, but
now Lindon.
Take them both. I probably would have gone Lindell. I think if I gun to my head. Although I actually probably would have gone off the board on that one.
Yeah.
I think there's still other peripheral guys. Unfortunately, with them not being projected, they are very difficult to find. But
so let's scroll down. Who's the next? Next best
you know who had a sneaky good
Ryan
peripheral
Getzlaf
season
is Patrick Hornquist is still out there. Blake
Jack
Coleman.
Johnson.
Dustin Brown.
Yep,
is out there. I'm looking at the list of who's still available out there. That's a good value. Jason Zucker being out there is interesting. Although again, we talked about him on the Central Division preview, and he's not exactly as valuable as you'd think. It's getting tough out there. And the thing is here, so one thing that I don't love about Eric Stahl, without knowing the team, Jimmy Howard goes. I like that pick too. That would have been, I think, if Hank weren't there, I would have taken Jimmy Howard. The thing I don't like about taking a guy like Eric Stahl this late is this late I technically try to target specifically guys with multi-eligible positions.
Yeah, I would do that depending on what my team looks like.
Depending how close it is.
It seems like
Tomas Tatar goes.
It seems like ESPN is very forgiving.
They're very generous.
And kind of weird on other players. So some players don't have the multi-eligibility as they should have. I don't know why that happens, but whatever. All right. So I know who I'm going to take. 6 more picks to me. I know who my next pick is going to be.
Unless it's sniped.
Which is very likely. Wayne Simmons hanging around is interesting. I don't know that he gets top 6 anymore with Gusev signing in, but it would have been fun. Still got guys like JT Miller with triple eligibility hanging around, but no peripherals to speak of.
A lot of player names cut off, but there's the draft board. And so here's kind of the thing on the draft kit. You can see how they start to get crossed off. And if you wanted to filter out, JT Miller goes. I like that a lot. Yep. Ooh, that reminds me of another guy who has gone. That is
Jason Zucker.
Jason Zucker, who we had just talked about. Okay.
Athanasiou is still hanging around, so that's I don't know that it matters, but They're projecting for 62 on ESPN. That is high.
Wow.
That is very high. I feel like I probably would have RNH over him, but
So
the
here's,
fact that Nugent Hopkins is still around is pretty interesting.
here's all the players left available.
And we still have Sam Reinhart, who
There
has
you
a
go.
lot of upside.
Look
Projected
at-
for 66.
Man, look at these consistency grades here. We're in the F's and the D's, and there's one.
Yep.
I don't know what's his eligibility on here.
Center left.
So Nugent Hopkins is also an interesting one, but again, he's going to be that
Yeah, I
second
just
line with
mentioned him,
James Neal.
Well, maybe.
Um,
I feel like they're going to do a lot of weird stuff over there. And he's going to
Yeah.
get top power play, which is going to be pretty good. All
Patrick
right,
Hornquist is still out there.
4 more picks. Dustin Brown's still hanging out.
Yep.
Andre Kasha, I like that pick, actually. It's a nice, good time to take a swing at him.
To be honest, so I already have. If I wouldn't have taken Backstrom, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping
Darcy Kemper goes.
Darcy Kemper, I like that a lot. If I would have gotten the draft I would have wanted, so far I think it would have gone kind of like how I wanted. I would have taken Jack Hughes last pick
Yeah.
because that's where I thought it would go, and I wanted to save a center. But because I took Backstrom and he's now the center in my bench, I can't do that. But I would have taken the upside in Hughes. But I don't get to do that. That's what I would have done. I would have taken that upside last pick. But
Well,
no.
we'll see how this goes.
Now I need
Why
to
is
take an
Verona
upside.
center only? Who knows?
Who knows what ESPN is doing? Honestly,
Tyler Johnson. So, maybe unsurprisingly, my
And
next
that's
pick was
triple-
going to be Jack Hughes.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
So Jack Hughes, like that super great pick from essentially my last pick.
Yeah.
And I got one more here, and I think I am going to go Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
He's got 60-point upside. They're only projecting for 54. Great hits, great shots. He's a great pick around here. I pick 181.
I think in this league too, I would immediately
Snag him.
Put-
Especially with left wing, right wing. I love it.
I feel like I'd put Kovalchuk on watch in this league.
Yeah,
immediately.
for sure.
Immediately put
I think most
Kovalchuk
leagues
after
he
the
should be on
draft.
watch.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't believe I took a rookie. This like never happens.
In a redraft.
Everybody has failed
Yeah.
for not picking him out from under me.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, I would have taken him on that last turn if I hadn't been.
you mean not your last pick, but right before that?
Yeah,
Okay. But,
virtually the last pick.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I had to take Boone Jenner. It's just
Yeah, Boone Jenner's a really good pick there. True eligibility.
Yaroslav Halak goes now.
It's a decent backup for Rask if Rask does Rask stuff again. I'm kind of surprised Korpisalo is still hanging out this late. Like, somebody could take that upside. It's not guaranteed Merzlikins is going to get the top.
What?
You're not allowed to draft any more goalies because you need a defenseman.
Yeah.
Thank you, ESPN. I definitely
I
want
guess
to
I
look at
can't
the
see.
available players. I can't look at anything.
Oh, there goes Korpisalo now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not allowed to look at anything anymore. Gamby's only allowed to look at defensemen.
So let's look at the sheet here. What's available? Here's the goalies left. Carter Hutton's still out there. That's actually a decent one, given that he
Yeah,
should
but
start in
Ullmark-
Buffalo.
I don't know. I
Um,
think he's going to split with Ulmer.
You've got Koskinen. Oh, after I said I wouldn't touch him.
Koskinen, yeah, actually is a pretty decent option right now.
Maybe. Craig Anderson is actually a decent one just from a
Yeah.
save perspective.
Who's even
Um,
backing him up? Is it?
Wait. The fact that UC Saros has not gone is
Yeah.
shocking to me.
Georgia?
Tons of
Good option as well.
win upside. Ton of win upside.
Nazem
And then
Kadri
Nazem
goes,
Kadri
and
goes
Travis
after
Sanheim.
Sanheim.
Sanheim's interesting because he actually might be able to get the top power play at some point.
Yeah.
Ghost is not secured, to say the least.
I actually feel like Ghost went a little early in this league.
I didn't even know he went.
I thought
Oh,
Ghost would
Hronek
go.
goes. Again we
Hronek.
forget about Hronek.
We did.
Wow. That was a good pick.
Good job, Dadlers.
ESPN, you've done it again. Not projecting players. He's not projected, right?
I don't think so. I know he's projected on my sheet.
Yeah, no projected. Thank you, ESPN.
Use our draft kit. Don't use these crap. Look, the moral of the story really is usually do not use. I mean, Yahoo RotoWire actually isn't that bad. That's who does Yahoo's projections. They're not awful.
You can complain about
ESPN
anything
is
before,
awful though.
but yeah, this is bad.
ESPN's bad. I mean, the redesign also in the league is just terrible. Their draft, I like their drafting screen.
Yeah,
it's
this is
nice.
good.
Like it's really pretty. It's nice to use. Their actual interface to manage the league and do pickups and everything is no bueno.
Well, I don't
not
need my
fun.
computer anymore, so I'm going to close it and throw it off my lap because it is hot.
Make sure Brandon doesn't overheat.
There we go. Hot, sweaty, nasty legs. It's good.
And then Ryan Ellis goes. Ryan Ellis is a good pick that late.
Definitely a good pick.
Yeah, especially if they try to go double D on the power play again.
Yeah, on the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do it on the top one, but they
No,
might on the second
I doubt
power play
it.
unit.
Okay, so we're getting down to the last, what is it, 4 or 5 picks now? 5 picks
I
left.
do think McAvoy should have gone by now.
Yeah, you'd think, right? And Mike Green too is an interesting option.
There goes Hornquist.
There goes Hornquist. That's a great pick. In my opinion, that might be one of the picks of the draft there. Hornquist going that late. Given his peripheral coverage, the only downside, of course, is that he's a right wing only. That's the tough part.
Oh, so Weens is probably going to take Colin Miller with his next pick?
Probably.
Oh, Vince Dunn. Wait, what?
Vince Dunn goes. Oh, there you go. Corey Schneider followed by Vince Dunn.
Yep.
Schneider's actually a good pick, too.
Yep. He's just going to have to battle it out with Blackwood and not
Yep.
get hurt.
Yep.
Neither one of them, I think, there's... I don't know. You're gambling. But
You're gambling
it's
a
the last
lot.
16th.
Oh, I'm going to get my guy.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually going to
Colin
work out
Miller?
for me, though. No.
Eric Chernak.
Yes. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins
Nobody's taking
goes.
Chernak from you.
No one's getting. I knew
Arne's
no one
just
was
great.
going to take him.
That late.
Chernak fills out all the peripherals for me.
Your
has-
auto pick would have been Eric Brandstrom. That's interesting.
So Chernak's not even projected. There we go. So I'm taking Eric Chernak with my last one because I need to fill out defense, and he fills out all the peripherals. So there you go. That is the draft. So let's go over. Let's go over all the teams here. We can use actually.
Oh, maybe I should leave Twitch up so I can
There you
answer
go.
any questions.
Okay. So
But not on my lap because it's hot.
let's go over these teams. So
Maybe on my lap because I have no choice.
So we can start. We can start with me. Oh
Yep.
boy, the disaster that was the game.
Why did
pick.
Comtois not autocomplete there?
He is not projected actually because both left wing lock and Dauber think that he is going to be. He's not going to make the team, so he's not projected at the moment.
Wow.
Which is surprising. So, anyways, let's look at my positions here first. So I've got Jack Eichel and Evgeny Malkin at my center slots, my starting center slots. They're both only centers, which is a little bit of a problem, which is why I'm never taking Backstrom. And then I've got Ovechkin and Brady Tkachuk in my left wing slots. Ovechkin, for whatever reason, is a left wing, right wing. Tkachuk is a left wing center. Then I've got Timo Meier and Elias Lindholm. Timo Meier is right wing, left wing. Elias Lindholm is right wing, center. My defense is Kevin Letang. Chris Letang.
Yep.
Shea Weber, Rasmus Ristolainen, Eric Chernak. It's a peripheral defense if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Markstrom in net, followed by Jonathan Quick. And then I have Henrik Lundqvist
God, your
on net.
net is
I
terrible.
like my net. I
It's
like Markstrom,
awful.
Quick. I mean, look, given what happened, I would have had Martin Jones and it was either Martin Jones and
Dubnyk.
Binnington or this. So whatever. Or Dubnyk, whatever I was going to do. And then I have Backstrom, Kreider, and Boone Jenner on my bench. Yeah.
You've
I don't know what to say. I don't hate my team.
The ones that are sticking out to me
But
are
I'm not
definitely
thrilled.
Backstrom and
Of course, the
and-
two picks that I got auto picked by my cat. So
Yeah.
this is actually my cat's team. I'm not to be confused with
Lundqvist I
categories
don't know
team.
about either, but
Yeah, I don't know.
You-
I
you-
like.
on
I
that
kind of
one.
like the upside there. Okay, let's move over to Snoop Lion.
let's go in order. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Snoop Lion. So he has in the center slots has Alexander Barkov and Philip Forsberg. Philip Forsberg is the left wing center. Then his left wing slots,
reason.
he's got Jonathan Huberdeau and Artemi Panarin. Both of them are left wing center
Yep.
for whatever reason. He's got Nikita Kucherov as a right wing only, and then Jakub Voracek, right wing, left wing. On defense, he's got Yossi Truba, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Tyson Barrie. Not huge on Tyson Barrie
Yep.
because he's going to be second
But you
power
got him
play.
super late, 4th D. It's fine.
Yep, a late pick. I don't mind it. And then there's Tuukka Rask and Robin Leonard. And then Nikolai Ehlers, James Van Riemsdyk, Eric Stahl, and Nugent Hopkins. Ehlers is left wing, right wing. Nugent Hopkins is center, left wing. And James Van Riemsdyk is left wing only. Eric Stahl is center only.
So this being a points league, there's nothing like super glaring other than the lack of goaltending. Like, I feel like if you're gonna take Leonard, you need to have a third goalie.
Yes.
So he's gonna lose points out by not having a third goalie. I think the D core is pretty good. It's probably one of the best D cores actually. To have Yossi, Truba, OEL,
Outside
and
of
Barrie.
Barrie, yeah.
Barry's fine though as a fourth defense. That's
That's
pretty
fair.
good.
No, you're right. You're right. Barrie as a fourth is fine.
Barkov is Forsberg. He got him pretty late, if I remember right. So that's pretty good. Huberdeau, Panarin. Yeah. I don't see any really glaring flaws. You got everybody on the bench is a stab. You got Ehlers, hopefully. JVR, hopefully.
I think
Stahl,
the only
hopefully.
issue I'd see here is that there's an issue positionally. There's a lot of left wing eligible guys and left wing center. So there's 4 guys who are left wing center eligible. You have 1 guy that's center only. You're gonna have a little bit of an
2
issue
guys
at
that are
right
center
wing.
only.
You only have 3.
Eric Stahl's
Yeah.
on the bench.
You only have 3 guys that are right wing eligible. So
Yeah.
that's where this team would get into a little bit of problem. You'd be
Yeah.
benching quite a bit, but that's okay because quite frankly, James Van Riemsdyk is probably droppable at some point. Nugent Hopkins could be droppable. Eric Stahl could be droppable in this league. So it's not that big of an issue. I think that for your
there's a bit of a
starters,
flood on the center left wing, but
Yeah. But that's okay because that's for your bench. You can always kind of figure that out later on.
I do think another goalie is necessary in this team.
Yes, I agree. I think
And
this team does.
It needed to be a starter, which is the problem.
Yes, because Tuukka Rask may not start as many as you think, and Leonard may not either, and Leonard
may not even be a starter,
and Leonard may not even be good.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, because of when we talk about this in the Central Division preview, but one of the things with Leonard is that the Hawks are awful at shot suppression. So the odds of Leonard being good go down because the Blackhawks are awful at suppressing shots, which means he's going to face a lot more. He's coming from the Islanders,
right,
where he had great shot suppression. So it's the complete opposite of where he was. Okay, let's move on to the next team. The Wingers Weens.
Oh, this team's awful. They auto-drafted the whole thing.
Yeah, so this is an auto-draft team. So we won't go through this too much, to be honest. It's auto-drafted. It's not great. But it's Nathan McKinnon, Max Domi, Matthew Tkachuk, Jonathan Gaudreau, Ryan O'Reilly, Alex DeBrincat, Aaron Ekblad, Josh Morrissey, Ryan McDonough, Vince Dunn, Ben Bishop, Semyon Varlamov, Bo Horvat, Matthew Barzal, Jonathan Toews, and Graham Lippman.
So what you can see is a theme here.
Yes.
Is everything is gambling on points.
Yes.
Everything. There's
Which
no
is,
peripherals, really.
Which makes sense given the way that ESPN autoed.
So, whatever. This team is very boomer bust.
The
defense is so bad.
So, no, here's another issue that this team got into.
And the goaltending.
They have
not a lot of starts.
4 centers that are only centers. 3 of their bench is only centers. They've got the 2 left wings they've got are only left wing. Then they've got DeBrincat, who's left wing, right wing. O'Reilly, who's center right wing, Domi, who's center left wing, and then Granlund, who's center left wing. So there's a big issue at right wing where you only have 2 guys that are right wing eligible. That's a big problem.
Yeah,
and
so many center guys.
And the fact that 2 of your centers that are benched are Toews and Barzal, that's dangerous. Like, this team is in trouble because you now have to trade from a position of weakness because you cannot play all these guys.
Yep. So you can never auto draft on a position league.
Don't auto draft. At least set your rankings. Okay, let's move on to Team Rogerson. So Connor McDavid at center. You've got Mika Zibanejad at center right wing, Gabriel Landeskog left wing, Jake Gensel left wing right wing, Joe Pavelski right wing center, William Nylander right wing center, Darnell Nurse, Seth Jones, Jeff Petrie, Esa Lindell at defense, Marc-Andre Fleury and Pekka Rinne in net, and then you got Braden Shen, Josh Anderson, Ryan Johansson, and Corey Schneider. I like this team. I don't think I like the defense. Darnell Nurse is your first D is risky if he's not top power play. Seth Jones is fine.
I like Seth Jones because he got him later than that. The D is risky.
The thing is that when you look at Seth Jones, so you look at like Seth Jones, Jeff Petrie, and Esa Lindell, not a bad bottom 3 for your defense. The issue is that you're gambling a lot with Nurse. And the fact that you're gambling with Nurse, I would have gone safer on defense than having gambled on a guy like Jeff Petrie and Esa Lindell.
Yeah, with 3 goaltenders, there's not going to be any issue with benching here. He's got a good mix of eligibilities. Got the upside in William Nylander late. That could really come out good for him. Zibanejad, you had to reach for early. There was no other option. I almost took him at 2-1, actually. So, in this league, Zibanejad's a good pick early. Have to take him. Josh Anderson fell way too late. He really capitalized on a lot of things that fell here.
Yeah, 100%. I like the Gensel pick.
Yep.
Where he got Gensel, like you said, Landeskog. Pavelski wasn't that
I think it's okay.
late. It was a good one.
I think it was in the double digits.
Nylander is fine.
Yeah, you got him
that late
too.
Is good. I like Johansson that late too.
Yeah. D is the only issue, but it may not be that big of one for this team.
The thing with this team too is I think they'd be able to trade out peripherals for a defenseman, and you don't need to fix too much of a defenseman.
Yeah.
You just need to fix one. Like maybe get one more in there, and you're good. Like move it to Lindell or a Petrie or something like that for
Petrie could be good.
And you know what? I think another thing is I'd actually on this team drop Lindell for a guy like Radko Gudas.
Yep.
And you've got quite the coverage on peripherals in the sense that you've got a pretty good floor on your defense.
Yep.
That's probably what I'd do. Okay, moving on to Seahawk. So they start immediately with 2 only center eligible centers, Sidney Crosby and Patrice Bergeron, followed by Taylor Hall, who's left wing center, then Clayton Keller, who's triple eligible. You got David Pasternak, right wing, left wing, Cam Atkinson, right wing, left wing. And then on defense, you've got John Klingberg, Keith Yandel, Justin Falk, Ryan Suter. Then in net, you've got Matt Murray, Martin Jones. Damn it. Martin Jones. What has been lost? Mark Scheifele, TJ Oshie, Jimmy Howard. That's a running back in the NFL. And then Patrick Hornquist last. I really like this team.
Yep.
I think this team is composed very, very well and very intelligently.
Yep.
The fact that all your starting wingers have multi-eligible positions, and in Clayton Keller, you've got a triple eligible. Of course, you got TJ Oshie and Patrick Hornquist, who are single right wing. So I would have liked to see a left wing eligible for the bench. So you got TJ Oshie and Hornquist, but Hornquist may be droppable.
Yeah, you got a third goalie, so
You
probably
got a third goalie. You could probably fix that. That's okay. I like the defense actually a lot.
3 flat C's, which is dangerous.
3 flat C's
You're
is
going to be
dangerous.
benching. That's actually a problem.
Yeah, and the fact that it's Crosby, Bergeron, and Scheifele means you're actually going to be benching quite a good center occasionally, which is a little bit problem.
None of those teams play a ton of off nights, from what I understand. I don't think, which means on Saturdays you're benching one of your best players, probably most weeks. Beyond that, this is taking a different approach than like my team, for example. This is not a peripheral heavy team; it's a point production team.
Yep.
But that's the beauty of points leagues.
You can compose differently.
Yeah. So that's the pros and cons, right? Like if you want to be able to build a team however you want to build it, then maybe points leagues are the way to go. But if you want to build a team where you have to know, or you have to address every possible category, then categories league is the way to go.
I actually think that on this team, if I were this team, I'd probably try to move one of Bergeron or Scheifele and see what's out there and see who wants to move immediately for some kind of left wing, right wing situation, or maybe even an elite defenseman, and then you can get rid of Suter, and you've got probably the best defense in the league at that point.
Yep.
And I'd see, because that triple center with such good centers is dangerous, and you're just going to end up wasting points, quite frankly.
Yep.
But other than that, I actually really like this team. I think I'm thinking about Howard. Howard's a great pick that late. I would have liked maybe a different goalie there on third, and this team would be really, really good.
Yeah, but you can handle that whenever you want to.
Okay, let's move on to Team Bonnie.
This is mostly auto-picked.
Yes, mostly auto-picked, so we'll kind of briefly go through it. So Braden Point sucks that that's a first. That is just, he is not a first-round pick, especially in this league. So it's Braden Point, Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin's a great grab.
I think he picked him second. So.
Yeah. Jamie Benn, Teuvo Teravainen, Mikko Rantanen, Alexander Radulov, Giordano, Werenski, Ekholm, Ellis on defense, and then you've got Binnington and Mrazek in goal, and then you've got Kuznetsov, Connor, Kakko, and Tatar.
So you can see
where there's a lot of holes.
Yeah, the very big problem is a lot of these players are only eligible for one position. You've got Rantanen, Radulov, and Kakko, all right wing only. Yeah. So you're gonna have the same kind of seized up problem at right wing. A left wing, he's got Ben and Kyle Connor, who are left wing only, and then 2 of his players are left wing, right wing. And what that means is they're already seized at right wing, so you're going to be seized at left wing. So, yeah, and then
there's an issue in net here too.
Yeah,
Peter Mrazek is not a guarantee. He gets injured a lot.
Yeah,
he also is not a guarantee for a lot of starts.
But this is auto pick,
and I like Benny. Of course, it's an auto pick team, but good to point out the issues.
Yep.
And then Zehawk commented as well, kind of to tell us. He said that he took 3 centers, knowing that it would be an issue, but he couldn't pass on them because they were the best available, and that he was planning, if this were a real league, to do exactly what we said, which was trading them, and that would be the right move. You take those 3 centers and you say, okay, I got the best possible available out there. Now let's go find a team that needs centers or something. The issue is, of course, that
people know,
and center is the deepest, and so as far as trading centers is the hardest thing to do as far as getting proper value.
Especially if they're only center eligible.
Moving on to the Daddlers. This is maybe one of my favorite teams, honestly. Let's go over it. Sebastian Aho, who has center left wing, and then Monahan, who's center only. Claude Giroux, who's left wing center. Mike Hoffman, who's left wing right wing. Mark Stone, who's right wing only. And Victor Arvidsson, who's right wing left wing. On defense, you've got Brent Burns, Dustin Byfuglien, Alex Pietrangelo, and Quinn Hughes. Then in net, you've got Gibson and Ronta. Then on the bench, you've got Max Comtois, Merzlikins, JT Miller, and Ronek. I love Ronek on the bench.
Yep.
I love Merzlikins on the bench.
This is probably the
best
best
and I love JT Miller. I don't like Comtois. I think Comtois is droppable, and quite frankly, you could have gotten someone better there than Comtois for that first bench spot.
There's 2 things I see here.
But everything else is
this
defense
D is the best.
amazing. This D is incredible.
Burns, Byfuglien, Pietrangelo, Quinn Hughes, and Ronek or Ronek, whatever, are all likely to be top power play.
Yes.
There's a problem in net, I think.
I don't know if there's a problem. I think Ronta is risky.
There's very low wins here.
Yes, that's the big issue.
Gibson's no wins. Ronta is going to probably play 50 games maybe.
See, the issue with Ronta too is he's not a volume save guy.
Yeah.
So Arizona is also really good at suppressing shots, and so you're not looking at you're looking at a goalie who's not going to get that many saves and probably not that many wins. I like Gibson a lot for volume.
Yep.
Merzlikins is a great gamble, but
So I think
I would have liked a different
if you're going
goal
to
in
take,
Ronta.
I already mentioned kind of my strategy. I think there was 2 goaltenders that stuck out to me as pieces you could make a team around. One of them was John Gibson. Decent volume starts probably, but he plays mostly off nights, which means you can run 3 heavy volume starters around him. Oh, not 3 including him. So if you take Gibson or, on the other hand, Holtby, who's also in a similar situation playing lots of off nights, you can run 2 more starters and get... They'll start most of the time. You're not going to have to bench them too often, and that's awesome. So I thought those 2 goalies, due to the scheduling of their teams, made a lot of sense to build a 3-goalie team around.
Yeah.
But you'd want 3 starters.
The forward core is really good, too, in Aho, Monahan, Giroux, Hoffman, Stone, and Arvidsson. I love all those picks, to be honest. And it's composed really well, where there's not too many center onlys, there's not too many left wing onlys or right wing. It's composed really well. I agree. I think this is probably the best team in the league. Okay, moving on to Voorhees.
I didn't say it was the best team in the league. You did.
I said it was. I think it might be one of them.
I thought it had the best defense. I didn't like a couple pieces.
Defense is definitely the best. I think
I thought the
goaltending
goalie
is
scoring is going to be a
questionable.
problem.
Yes. So Voorhees went the interesting route of going goalie back-to-back, first round and second round, which is what I do in one of my leagues, actually.
And he still wound up with Austin Matthews. What has happened?
I know. It's insane. So let's go through this team, because I'm impressed with how this team turned out, given that he took goalies. So in the order, he took Vasilevsky and Anderson back-to-back. Great picks. You're set in net. You don't need a third goalie anymore. Then at center, somehow got Austin Matthews still. Got Elias Pettersson, who's a center left wing for whatever reason. Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's center left wing. Nino Niederreiter, who's right wing left wing. And then Brendan Gallagher and Brock Besser. I like both of those picks. The issue is they're both right wing only.
Yep, but he's got nobody else that's right wing only.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Right.
On defense, you've got Dougie Hamilton, Matt Dumba, Eric Gustafsson, and Ivan Provorov. Hamilton was a reach for me.
Yeah.
Massive reach, I think, in my opinion.
Dumba's the best defenseman here.
Dumba's the best defenseman on this team, and Gustafsson, if he stays top power play.
Yeah, but his peripherals aren't there, so you're really gambling on him.
Yeah.
Like, even more than any other team, you're gambling on him staying top power play.
Swap out Hamilton, and I love this team.
I actually like Hamilton. He's not going to get a ton of points.
I don't like him as a 1D.
Not as a 1D.
I don't like him as a 1D.
You could say Dumba's the 1D here.
Yes. And then on the bench, you've got Jaden Schwartz, Travis Konechny, Jason Zucker, and Kadri. Yeah, it's an okay bench.
There's a bit of gambling.
There's gambling.
I mean, that's what happens. It's fine. Schwartz is a decent gamble. Konechny, I feel like his ceiling is just low. I've always kind of felt that about Konechny. Zucker, mostly a goal scorer. I don't know that his upside's that high either on a team like that. Kadri, I do like. I think he's going to give you decent peripherals, and then hopefully he can get you a good amount of points as well.
Yeah.
But, he's also very expendable at the center position.
Okay, so moving on from Voorhees, we go to Team Mefnik. Okay.
There is a problem just looking at this.
Wow, there is only one player on this team that is multi-eligible.
Yeah, so you're seized up in 2 positions already.
Yeah, okay, so let's go through this. So it's Tyler Seguin and Sean Couturier up top. I like those 2 centers, and
very good.
Couturier was very late, so that was a great pick. Both of them center only, though. And then there's Leon Draisaitl, left wing center, the only multi-eligible guy on this team. And then there's Jeff Skinner, left wing, Tom Wilson, right wing, Kyle Palmieri, right wing.
Wilson was a stretch at that point, I think.
That right wing is not great.
I actually like Kasha.
Wilson and Palmieri. Yeah, and then Kasha is the... Okay, and then on defense, this is a great defense, in my opinion.
Yep.
This maybe rivals that other team for top in the league. Victor Hedman, Morgan Riley, Thomas Chabot, and Alexander Edler. That's fantastic defense. You've got your peripherals covered in Edler. Chabot, Riley, and Hedman give you the points. And then in goal, you've got Bobrovsky and Grubauer. Great goaltending. And then on the bench, you've got Couture, who went really late, so I love Couture that late. And then Zach Parise, Andre Kasha, and Travis Sanheim. So, great team. The problem with it is just that you're going to be benching a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the benches... So the one thing I will say that's a positive about this is that you're looking at a guy like Tom Wilson, who's in a starter spot. You may be able to bench him eventually. And so in the bench, you've got Zach Parise, Kasha, and Sanheim. Obviously, you want to be playing Couture, but whatever. So there's not...
Yeah, Couture is I think the
big loss
center
here
is the big
Couture,
one, probably,
yes. Other than that, you may just have to fix the issue of Tom Wilson being your one right wing. Which isn't awful, but I would rather have someone else.
Looking at it again, it's not that bad, because like you say, the benchable players are...
But you don't have a lot of flexibility here. Yeah. That's the issue. If you want to make moves, you want to make trades, you just don't have flexibility if you have this many single positional eligible guys.
Yeah.
That's the big problem.
Yeah. There's going to be a decent amount of times on this team where you
Yeah.
you not be starting all your players and be benching maybe 2.
Yeah, correct.
You'd be benching center and right wing, and still have spots at left wing and at defense possibly, which would suck.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. So let's look at Barry Dirty Danglers. So at center, they've got John Tavares and Andrei Kopitar. Great 2 centers, especially considering how late Kopitar went.
Yep.
Brad Marchand and Svechnikov in the left wing slots. Svech is left wing, right wing.
A little bit of a reach, but
I like
the upside is there.
Yes, the upside is there.
Bunch of hits from him too. He models himself after Ovechkin.
Yeah, and then the 2 right wings are right now Marner and Laine. Marner is right wing center. Laine is right wing, left wing.
Got Marner relatively late.
And Laine was great. Laine was good too, I think, for where they got him. And then you've got John Carlson, Torrey Krug, Shea Theodore, and Shane Gostisbehere on defense. Not Gostisbehere is a massive.
They're all likely top power plays.
Yes,
that's nice.
all likely top power plays. So great move there. But
I don't think any of them give you any
risk.
peripherals.
Yes,
literally none of them.
Yeah.
So you're basically hoping that they score points, which you got a good amount of point scores there. Theodore and Gostisbehere are both a little bit of gambles at this point, but
the big issue here is goaltending.
Yeah.
They're in trouble in goaltending. They've got Carter Hart, Darcy Kemper, and Korpisalo on the bench.
Actually, I don't hate it that much. Hart will get, I don't know, 55 maybe?
You're going to run into issues on weeks that you're going to get stomped just because of goaltending.
Yeah.
Like, this team is going to struggle against the
Korpisalo. You have to hope that Korpisalo plays.
Kemper, too. I mean, you're hoping on a Ronta injury.
Yeah. Well, even with Ronta not getting injured, I don't think they're going to start him all that much. Yeah. Kemper is be a high-volume backup.
This team has a great bench, though, in Dadonov, Sam Girard, and Nikita Gusev.
Yep.
Obviously, Korpisalo's there, too, but that bench of Dadonov, Girard, and Gusev is fantastic. So, honestly, for me, I think what I would do on this team is probably try to trade for a goaltender at some point.
Yep.
You can use a few pieces that are here. You can maybe move a defenseman. You can probably move, like, an offensive defenseman plus a goaltender or plus a defenseman like Girard or Gusev or Dadonov for a peripheral defenseman plus a goaltender, and you could probably make out pretty good. So this team would need some work because of the goaltending, in my opinion. But you have pieces to move around, and your bench is fantastic in Dadonov, Girard, and Gusev. So they had a great draft because their whole team as a whole, their team is good. But you can tell that their bench is good because they skipped goalies.
Yeah,
quite frankly. Okay, moving on to the computer boys like it. So they've got Steven Stamkos first, who's a center only, and then Tomas Hertl, who's triple eligible. Evander Kane, left wing. Evander Kane was a reach for me.
Yep.
But
not that much
look,
of one.
The sheet that I used, my projections, said he was right up there, so maybe not that much of a reach. Andrus Lee, left wing center. On right wing, he's got Vladimir Tarasenko and Anthony Mantha. Anthony Mantha is right wing, left wing. Tarasenko is right wing only. On defense is PK Subban, Rasmus Dahlin, Jake Muzzin, and Cale Makar. In net is Carey Price and Braden Holtby with Yaroslav Halak on the bench. And the 3 bench slots aside from Halak are Miro Heiskanen, Matt Duchene, and Tyler Johnson, who is triple eligible. I like it.
It's all right.
This is a competitive team.
I don't know that I would keep. I know Heiskanen's decent to start.
I don't know if I'd keep Makar. Eventually.
Yeah, the defense
is because of peripherals.
The defense is. You gotta hope that Subban really picks it up because he's been. I know that he's on a new team. And he's got a much better chance here, and but a lot of these guys like Dahlin as well. You need points out of him. He doesn't give a ton of peripherals. He gives okay ones. Muzzin's your peripheral guy, so he's got a decent floor. Makar and Heiskanen are not going to give you too much in the way of peripherals either. So the floor for the defense is fairly low, and the ceiling is relatively high. It's just a matter of what Makar and Heiskanen do, I guess. But Price and Holtby at goal. Halak, I don't know. I don't know that I care about Halak.
I like Price and Holtby. That's fine.
Again, I already mentioned this about Gibson, but you could build a third starting goalie out of this.
Yeah.
Maybe you could target Talbot if he starts taking starts.
Yep. Like you can pick up, you can swap in somebody.
So there's some versatility with this team.
Yeah.
I don't see any glaring holes. I do think Mantha went slightly early, but not crazy early.
Yeah.
He probably would have gotten taken had this guy not taken.
I think my issue with this team is that the floor is really low.
Yeah.
And there's a good ceiling. I don't know if the ceiling
because there is decent peripherals.
So
with
Makar is
Kane.
low.
Yeah.
Muzin is low. Mantha could be
Muzzin's peripherals are all right, but yeah,
all right. But his point scoring,
is
everything
going to be almost non-existent probably with Barry now.
Yeah. So I think the issue there is I see a few guys here, Anders Lee as well. A few guys that I think could have very low floors.
Yeah.
Or not very low floors, but low enough floors that it matters. And I don't know if the ceiling is worth the risk that was taken on. But I don't hate it. Okay, moving on to the last team, which is yours. You can read us off your team, which we'll see how I like it.
Yeah, okay. So I've got Vincent Trocheck, center right wing eligible. Ricard Raquel, Ricky Rax, center left wing eligible. Jonathan Marchessault, left wing, right wing. And we've got Max Pacioretty, left wing only. Patrick Kane, who's right wing center for some reason. Blake Wheeler, who's right wing only. Then my defense is Erik Karlsson, Drew Doughty, Ryan Pulock, and Adam Larson. My goaltenders, weirdly, this is not a thing I usually do, but my goaltenders are probably my strongest point, are Connor Hellebuck and Devin Dubnyk. And then I've also got on the bench David Riddick. And then I also have benched right wing only Phil Kessel, center Jack Hughes, and then Dustin Brown, right wing, left wing. So the ceiling is actually not super high on my team.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. I think that the ceiling on yours is pretty limited, given guys like Trocheck, Marchessault, Pacioretty, Raquel. The ceiling is not that high, and Pulock, it's got a great floor though. Like this team will be competitive every single week.
Yeah, the thing is, what I'm hoping is
the issue is you're not going to go off very often here.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how much well, that's the thing. The idea behind it was that my goaltenders would pull me through a lot because they're going to start so many games, and then if some of these guys I took have any type of rebounds, like my floor being so high, hopefully is enough to push me through, and then I might lose the odd week against a hot team, but I like having high floors, and then my ceiling, The biggest breakout candidates are probably Patrick Kane having something happen again, Blake Wheeler being a 90-point guy again. Erik Karlsson was way too faded, so I got him pretty late. A lot of the guys I took, I think, were a little undervalued. I might have taken Rax a little too early. Marchessault maybe a little too early. But
I like the Jack Hughes pick. The fact that Kessel is on a bench is fantastic for you.
Yeah.
I love the Jack Hughes pick. Honestly, I like your bench the best of anybody probably. Of Dustin Brown, Jack Hughes, and Phil Kessel. It's a fantastic bench. And then Patrick Kane is right wing center for whatever reason. I mean, I guess like on a busy day you can bench Raquel, and Raquel actually is a positive because he has the off nights.
Yeah.
I think my issue with your team is like what we said is just that floor is just, or that ceiling is way too low for me.
So somebody asked if would it be worth bringing another D-man on my team to cycle on heavy nights? Probably not. My thought with that would be, like we're mentioning now, defense in this league are pretty much going to raise your floor more than anything, especially this deep. I would be looking at peripheral guys, which are just going to be consistent. And what I really need is an upside guy. So my move would be to try to take a hot hand and hope they stay. Somebody like a DeBrincat last season, a Ron Nugent Hopkins type. Yeah,
like Brandon needs to up his ceiling here, not his floor. So on any given week, there's no reason to bring in a defenseman and protect your floor. On any given week, Brandon is coming in and saying, I want the highest possible ceiling. And that's what he did in taking Jack Hughes so late. Jack Hughes ups his ceiling tremendously there because of his points upside. And that's what you're looking for in any kind of a pickup.
This team, the way, I don't want to go off so much because it's my team, but the way I'm thinking it is like I would want it to be able to beat 75% of teams every single week, but it's probably never going to be the top team on any week.
Yep.
So if I can do that, it should get me to playoffs, and then unless I'm unlucky, it might be good.
Exactly. I like it. I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's just a very different thing in strategy. It's similar to what we talked about in preview episodes of how we like floors. We also like trying to maximize that ceiling, and here the floor is very high, and maybe just didn't maximize the ceiling as much, which is fine. Especially looking at the way the rest of the teams were composed, it's not that big of a deal. You're set in a lot of places. I do think it's an issue of like, say you play the team that's Vasilevsky and Anderson, and they have tons of saves, or each have 3 starts each week.
Yeah,
you may run into trouble there. But other than that, I don't mind it. Well, hopefully next time my cat doesn't run over my keyboard.
Hopefully it does.
So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And again, remember that if you want to take part in these mock drafts, we're doing them every single week or every single weekend. If you want to take part in them, be sure to become a Patreon or a patron. Sign up on Patreon, become a patron, and when you do, you'll get priority into these mock drafts to be able to draft with us. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, listening, watching, whatever it is you were doing. We will see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening or watching or whatever.